All right, we are live.
Welcome, everyone, to Season 1, Session 2 of our GURPS Monster Hunters game. I'm today's GM, Rigil Kent, aka Phil, when we forget to use our online pseudonyms. Before we get started, are there any immediate housekeeping things that you need to take care of? Since we're still doing the first 3 active sessions where your character, you can make changes without presuming they don't radically alter the character too much.
I would like Draven.
Question.
I'd like Draven to get night vision 5 if that's possible.
Let's check what is you used?
It's the warrior template. It allows night vision.
Yeah, okay. What was that there from Javier?
So since this is technically Erik's first game, can he have 3? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be this one, the next one, and the one after that for him.
And I went ahead and made those changes that I messaged you about, so they're already done on this character sheet.
Okay, and those changes were just added charitable, boost some skills, tweak some skills.
Added some
Roger.
And then you just let me know when you want those rolls in the dice tower.
Oh yeah. Okay, so before we get started, we never did officially resolve the rapid ready doohickey thing that was such a discussion for Ryder. I believe on the boards there, Ronky, you said you had looked through the rules and it did look like that shouldn't be legal according to Raw.
Well, Daniel found a thing with regards to rapid strike, and it actually speaks about burying the knife and then tearing as part of the rapid strike. So you could do.
So that would be a knife thrust followed by like a cut, not a ready. It's
rolled as a separate attack. So where I was doing the strength roll to free the pick, actually no, I wasn't using the pick to. Yes, I was.
Yeah, you were doing an impale swing, and then you were doing a rapid ready as part of the rapid strike, which is like
and
a
pulling
check.
the pick out as a strength check. But according to what Daniel found, it should be rolled as a separate attack that could be dodged and all that sort of stuff.
All right.
I didn't think about it when I was looking that up before, but that would make sense if it were a cutting attack on the second instead of impaling.
Yeah, so instead of doing the half damage coming out, it should be a separate damage roll entirely.
Presuming they don't, quote, dodge somehow.
Yeah, that's if doing that sort of attack. If I just left it in there like a normal pick and then pulled it out as part of my next turn, then it would work like a normal pick.
Okay.
Now that is bypassing the whole stuck pick situation with a bit of a hand wave, but treating it like a cutting attack and actually it's cutting out and not being pulled out directly. That's kind of a decent excuse for it.
Plus, Draven has a ridiculous strength of 19.
And DR and all that is also applied to the follow-up attack.
All right, we'll keep that in mind for the future then. Regarding last time, I did forget to have Will roll on the fright check table at the conclusion of the session since he failed his fright check, and it turns out that Hurt actually also failed because he rolled a 14. So, based off of what the rolls were, it looks like Will is going to roll on the fright check table with a +1. And Hurt is going to roll at a -5, if I read that right. And
Right.
yeah, and it's like per the Monster Hunters thing, unless it is oh wow, that was a perfect roll there.
Wow.
Yeah, when was that? Yeah, unless it is something that is permanent, we're just ignoring it. So he didn't necessarily lose his lunch. Okay. Speaking of Will, you're going to need to populate those quirks there, Padre. They're not free points. I'm going to have to give Andricus the same kind of.
All right. So you want some rolls?
You really want to roll that stuff, don't you?
What rolls are you looking at for?
Oh, I've got enemy. I've got chronic.
No. Don't worry about the enemy stuff. I am actually keeping track of that for the PCs.
I got duty.
Yep.
So I got the duty and I got the chronic pain.
Yeah.
He's
The
got
chronic
duty.
pain's mostly going to come up. We'll see. All right. And finally, on YouTube for the YouTube, we had a couple of reviews for the previous session, which actually surprised me. One of them, a Chad Loy, commented that he wished this was done as a podcast so he could listen on the go. I'm like, yeah, well, okay, that's too bad. He knows he can download the audio, but some things are typed out and not spoken out loud, like the first shotgun blast of the session. Damage wasn't stated. Please consider making it listener friendly. So, with that in mind, please do actually consider stating how much damage you inflict before we figure out any of the various modifiers. So it's like if you roll 36 points of damage, that's PI plus. Then all right, 36 points PI plus.
I'm feeling attacked.
Of course, the player most likely to type something out instead of say it is not here.
Well, we'll have to remind him then. We also got a comment from Canalder's Sword on YouTube, who was saying fantastic session. So good job, everybody.
Yay!
Thank you.
Victor died with style. Yes.
He did.
Did he though? Did he really?
All right. So over Black, we will have we will hear the usual voice declaring previously in GURPS Monster Hunter's Shadow War. And Mark, tell us what happened last time.
Well, you see, I was having to push my bike over a long, dusty desert road because I don't know what happened, and I don't even know whose body I'm in. And
There's the shiny demon.
And came upon this creepy old place, and just as I approached, a bunch of these other folks approached, some cops and some other guy, and everything kind of went dark and super cold, man. And it was like super creepy. So we all like bustled into this building, and all of a sudden from the outside, we heard all this craziness. This cop dude just got pulled right on out into the midst of all these ugly monsters. So we were like all back to back and ready to fight. These things came at us, man. We started letting loose with guns. This ninja dude just started like hacking and slashing. And as we were like fighting for our lives, man. I heard this strange chanting, like some weird witch was like just going off. Saw this hole, got up in there, and was led to the roof. Told everyone to like, let's get out of here, man, before we all get eaten. Get up to the roof, and there's this. I guess it was some witch dude, and I just like felt this like the surge. Like, this guy is a bad dude. People are dead around him, like some kind of weird witch ritual. Like, and I just kind of got this like anger, man. And this dude's got to go down. I think he's causing this stuff. So leveled my shotgun. I gave him a warning. He didn't stop, and so I put that witch down. And well, there's like flash and noise, and then there I was in the middle of the air, flying backwards, wondering, could my day get any worse?
They had the record scratch and going, I'm sure you're wondering how I got here. Me too.
So how much time did you actually allot for this intro?
Well, it's Mark.
I'm glad you remember that, because that was last week. My brain doesn't work that far back.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, I forgot to say that when the other cop dude just got ate totally by these monsters.
So, Hurt, you were going to recover first because you actually have recovery, and thus you regain consciousness 60 times faster than these other schlubs. So you will find yourself buried under the rubble, and you must try to dig yourself out. So that is going to require either a strength or an escape check, and it's going to cost you 1 fatigue point.
Did I actually have escape? Yes. But strength is better. And it was just straight.
Yep.
Well.
All right. With some effort. Yeah, with some effort, you're like, shoving stuff out of the way and, pushing yourself up. And you find yourself standing in a scene of absolute devastation. Out of the group, you're definitely the person who would be able to recognize that this literally looks like the aftermath of a bomb strike of some sort. The house looks like it has been completely blown apart. There is a single retaining wall that still sort of is there, and up there's like this perfect circle of the roof that's on the top, and it's really, really weird. But the explosion seems to have flipped both of the SUVs, blown out windows, knocked the bike several yards away. Hey, luckily it's now, no longer super weirdly dark and cold.
I'm going to pop up and start scanning for threats.
There is nothing moving that you can immediately tell. Give me some sort of perception check if you wish.
I wish it.
Despite the darkness, you will be able to, with that success of by 5, that's a pretty good success. Despite the darkness, you will be able to see a little bit of movement in one of the SUVs, the police SUVs. But otherwise, it is like, really, really quiet. Although your ears are probably ringing, you heard all over.
I've got ear protection or hearing protection anyway. But
oddly quiet around here.
I do attack reload on the rifle and go over to the SUV and see what's moving in there.
Inside the SUV is Officer Begay, who looks like he has been pretty badly mauled, but he does seem to be still, alive. His clothes are all just shredded. It looks like he was trying to crawl into the SUV and something was like clawing at his legs.
Okay, I don't know who this guy is.
Well, he's definitely wearing the remnants of a Apocalypse Police Department uniform, and you
That'll
might
do.
have seen him in town when you've wandered around town.
All right, since I have an actual casualty here that I know about, I will extract him from the vehicle and perform some kind of first aid while continuing to scan for threats.
Yeah, there's absolutely no sign of movement or critters or whatever the heck those were. Give me I think it would end up being you have the Tin Hut skill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, give me that.
One moment, please. That was a pretty crappy roll.
Well, it's still a success by 2. So the moon, if you vaguely recall from last week, the moon is nearly full. It's just it got super crazy dark for some reason. So you are able to make out the surroundings fairly well. And based off of both the Tin Hut roll and then the perception by 5 check, you realize it looks like some of the surrounding hills have frankly been blasted apart. It almost looks like a bomb sort of went off or something, and with your expert military knowledge, you're able to sort of trace the epicenter to the oddly perfect and still intact circle of roof that is still standing.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No, you've never heard of any kind of explosive that could do.
How far away are those hills?
This particular area is they're within walking distance.
A lot of yards?
Many yards.
Many yards.
Yeah, so that was apparently a pretty big boom.
Indeed. Well, is the strange officer going to make it? Or is he a lost cause?
I don't know. You haven't. You just pulled him out and started looking at him. It doesn't look like he doesn't look like he's bleeding out or anything.
Well, that's a start. I was checking to see. Yeah, I've got the. Didn't I have a bigger first aid kit? I think that's in the go bag. Okay, so I got the small first aid kit. I don't remember what the bonus is on that. I don't see anything. Okay. Raw first aid then.
What about the other guys? You're just gonna leave them? No idea where they're at.
Right.
Screw them.
That is covered by Tin Hut now.
Holy cow.
Yay!
Yeah, you're fairly certain he should make it. He's probably, he's unconscious, but yeah, his legs and his side and stuff like that have been scraped or not scraped up, but slashed up.
All right.
He's not. You're not like looking at exposed ribs or his heart or anything.
Yeah. All right. So he's stable. You stay here, and I'm gonna go start poking around and see if anybody else is moving.
Okay. So locating and rescuing the other PCs is going to require a search and rescue urban or a perception -5. See, I looked up that skill.
Mhm.
What was it? I think it was the Hurricanes one that I looked that up. It's not quite right, but it's close. Figuring
Okay.
each attempt is going to take about 5 minutes, mostly due to the debris, and you don't want to make it worse.
Hey, at least I'm probably less covered by debris being on
There
top of
is-
it.
Oh, you're not
There-
even on in the area.
There's
You
the
got
potential
incinerated,
that
Mark.
Oh,
No.
there's the potential that discriminatory smell may come into play here.
Sure.
In which case, that'll be a
that's
plus 4.
All right. So
There's a
you
3.
are able to 1, 2, 3. Let's see there. 1, 2, 3. All right. So you start pulling through some stuff, and the first thing that you will extract is most definitely a body. And alas, he doesn't look like he's going to make it.
Okay, well, I'll collect him over there and keep poking.
Okay, so you did that and that. So make another check with the +4, and yeah. All right, you are able to locate the Graham, and pull him out. He looks pretty knocked out and beat up, but well, he's alive.
Well, he's a bit squishier than the other 2, so that's good.
Is he?
Well, I expected he's a little squishier than the other 2.
Squishier than the other 2, right? Yeah, you're talking about Mac and Ryder.
I think Mac is probably on that hill over there.
Okay.
Is that why that person shaped impression in the hill?
So as about 5 minutes, just as you're pulling Lopez out in the very distant distance towards the words. In the direction of Apocalypse itself, you can hear the sound of sirens. They're obviously really far away, but it got really, really quiet. So that's not that much of a particularly big surprise.
Okay. I need to use smelling salts or something on the cop. Get him away, because I don't want to be the first one they talk to.
Well, that's quite, based off of your experience, and from there, they're probably at best 15 minutes away at best, and that's like if they're hauling butt.
Yeah, well, my kit right now is going to require a lot of splaining. So I'm
talking
thinking
about the whole situation's going to require a lot of explaining. Who are you guys shooting at? There's no bodies around.
Oh, there's none of them?
There's none of them.
Yeah, I don't like this.
It's kind of creepy. About 15 minutes or so, right about when you have pulled out Graham and started trying to wake him up, you will hear the distinct sound of a helicopter that will conduct a flyby overhead, complete with a spotlight.
So much for running off.
It does not loiter for very long. It comes in there. It does like a sweep. You've got the light stabbing down onto the ground, and then it heads deeper into the hills. Unfortunately, since it's so dang dark out here, it's really hard to identify who that chopper was, whatever.
True.
And based off of the rules, as long as an unconscious PC has more hit points or more than one hit point and is thus positive, they will wake up and automatically in 15 minutes. So at about that time, the other PCs are slowly going to be waking up, gradually regaining consciousness. MacArthur, you don't know where, when you sort of wake up, you are nowhere near the building. It looks like you got chucked a pretty significant distance away. Significant being debatable. Your left arm is actually broken. Amusingly enough, when I rolled the extra explosive damage, you were the only one that didn't just take it to the chest.
Oh man, I think I like that arm.
Ryder is, when he wakes up, he is still buried in, stuff, in debris. So he will also be able to do the, what was it, strength or escape, which will cost you 1 fatigue point to get free.
Success by 4.
Well, you tried to fail. I think, what was it? Pretty much everybody else would be like, nope, that's a fail.
Well, with a roll of 15, yeah, I'd imagine it would be a fail for
MacArthur
everybody.
would succeed. Mac would have succeeded by 0, but I think everybody else would have said, nope, failed.
And that's 1 fatigue.
That is 1 fatigue, yes. Let's hear it for GURPS disasters, hurricanes. I think that's where I found it.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, so MacArthur, when you stand up, you can definitely say, "Oh, hey, it's over there." That's a big mess now. So you're probably like 6-7 yards, maybe a little bit more away. You got chucked a pretty sizable distance. And it's really hard to tell the distances in the dark.
Oh,
Damn it! I changed something on my little doohickey, and I shouldn't have done that. Bad for the bad. So, Graham will be awake. Actually, everybody's going to be awake there. Finally, even Officer Begay, who's going to be groaning and complaining about his legs got cut up.
So can Will make his way over to the police SUV?
Yeah, that's no problem.
I'm going to do a radio check to see if the radio is operational.
Nope. The SUVs are totally foobarred.
Okay, and then I'm going to go and see if we've got any personal radios.
I'm walking around too, poking through the rubble.
Rubble.
By the way, and I'll point out once you're starting to get mobile, I'll point out that Begay is over there recovering.
Yeah, there were two. The two SUVs. One of them was the local police department, and the other was the sheriff's department. If you recall, when last week, when the crazy started to happen, you had a distinct pop as the headlamps blew out. And you will also be able to easily determine with bit of experimentation that, frankly, anything that used like circuitry or something like that seems to have gone the way of the dodo. It's very irritating. About 10 minutes after the lot of you have sort of finally started to recover and looking around doing the what the hell just happened. You will definitely hear the sound of a rapidly approaching vehicle with because it's got sirens going on.
So Will's going to stand up and make sure he's visible and start to wave.
And it does occur to me, I should have mentioned this beforehand. Before that happens, Officer Begay is actually going to ask the question that, well, apparently none of you guys have asked yet. It's like, what the hell just happened?
I'm going to tell Begay to shut the fuck up and let me handle this, because I don't want anybody talking to our assisting officers before I get a chance to talk to them.
Okay, but what happened? What were those things?
I have no idea. Just keep your mouth shut and let's just wait for backup.
Backup will arrive in the form of a sheriff's SUV, another one, or the other one. Actually, I think they have 3 total. One is, well, on its side now. Two deputies will spring out. They have their weapons definitely at the ready, and they're like doing the what the hell's going on? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Will is going to put his hands up and say, "I need to talk to you." Well, this is Sergeant Westcott, who's going to be the lead on this.
He's definitely the ranking one of the sheriffs.
All right, and I'm just going to say to the Sarge, I don't know what the hell happened, but these guys are armed. I don't think they're dangerous to us, because they sure as hell tried to save our lives. But they are armed and extremely dangerous.
You guys are armed and extremely dangerous.
Goddamn right.
Begay, whoops, it's a little bit more complicated now because there's 2 Begays here. The sheriff's deputy version is going to sort of approach, and immediately she sees the officer Begay, and it's like, that he's messed up, and she sort of will definitely keep her weapon not quite ready, but she starts getting kind of aggressive because, well, what the hell's going on?
So I'm going to call her over, and with the Sarge out of earshot of everyone, I'm going to tell her, calm down. Let me try to explain what happened to us when we arrived.
Yeah, how do you explain that?
So I'm going to do my best to simply say, I don't know what happened. We arrived. My spidey senses said this is not going to be a safe scene. We arrived inside the building, and everything went dark. I remember an explosion. I guess things must have hit me in the explosion, but one of these guys pulled me out. Begay was injured, and Lopez, unfortunately, was killed.
They're definitely going to react to that with the clear, crap. He was a good kid.
Is
And,
there any obvious
I'm happy-
injuries
I'm-
on Lopez?
Say that again, Brian.
Lopez's injuries, are they obvious? Like something tore him apart? Or are they more like fragments from an explosion sort of thing? Basically, can you see what killed Lopez? Or what type of injuries?
Yeah, he was slashed, clawed to death.
So
I will
it's
happily
obvious
make
that
a-
he's been slashed and clawed to death.
I'll happily make an acting roll to try to convince them of what happened, in the sense that I don't know what happened, but there was a massive explosion that ripped into us.
Let's see. Is that acting? Or is that fast talk? I think that in that case, that's probably fast talk. Because you're obfuscating the truth, so to speak.
Right.
And just occurred to me, it's like as soon as go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I could do a fast talk as well. Sure.
It would be IQ or fast talk versus detect lies if they're detecting lies.
Yeah, that might fall under the IQ.
Right. And it does occur to me that as soon as both Deputy McGay and Sergeant Westcott sort of see that MacArthur is there, they're like their attention. I'm not going to say it's honed in on him, but they're kind of eyeing him like he's probably responsible for this in some way. I mean, obviously, a low life like him.
Do you want me to make a fast talk roll?
Yeah. If you want to, if you're trying to fast talk your way, that would be fast talk. By 2, that's pretty decent. Okay, so the story that you are spinning, you don't know what the heck happened. Things got weird. Officer McGay will actually seem to nominally assist in some capacity, because it's like when his occurs to me, I'm not sure who all would know of their actual relationship. MacArthur, maybe, and that's possibly it. But they are siblings. When she asked him what's going on, all he's like, I don't know. It was dark. I think somebody had whatever it was. I think they had dogs or knives or something.
And the fact that I'm spitting up blood and severely wounded myself, I'm not even sure I know what the hell happened.
That's true. Your ears are probably ringing too. Well, they might not be ringing anymore. You have been awake for a little bit. So Westcott's like, well, all right. Well, we need to get you, all of you, into you get you checked out. The Begay, you can take them in, and he will volunteer to remain here to set up basically set up not a perimeter. That's not the right word.
Crime scene.
But I guess what?
Crime scene.
Yeah, I guess it's mostly a crime scene.
Cordon.
And the two of them will start offloading their truck, because they're going to need to have the extra space, since it's there's a handful of you. And Westcott will also mention to Graham that probably want to collect everybody's weapons and secure them in the. They've got one of those things on the roof. No, wait, it's a SUV. It's a sheriff's SUV.
I tell him, Sergeant, you collect the damn weapons. I'm going to attend to my broken ribs. And I hobble over to the vehicle.
And he will give you the, alrighty then. And make his deputy to it. And she gives him an irritated look. But we'll definitely go, the first person she's going to is MacArthur. And she's going to do the, I'm going to need you to turn those over for the time being. You'll get them back as long as you're not guilty of this. It looks like she's trying to avoid spitting out that you're not guilty.
Hey, sure. Whatever, officer. What happened here?
That's what we're going to try to find out.
Oh, when you figure that out, I'd like to know too.
And then she will point you to the truck after she takes weapons.
Truck or ambulance?
Well, right now they just have the SUV. They're going to take, drive because none of you guys are walking wounded. None of you are like, oh, hey, I'm on the ground.
Ambulatory.
Exactly. And she'll repeat it, and it'll be the rider first. She doesn't know what to make of him. I mean, this running around with a ninja sword, really?
He may. How did he get here? Did he have his car?
You were tracking those things, so you were probably on foot for a considerable amount of time.
Okay, so his car's nowhere to be found. Or not in this area. Dramon's going to say, why do you need these weapons?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear all of that. He's going to say what?
He's going to say, why do you need my weapons?
Standard procedure. You'll get them back later.
When?
As soon as you're cleared of not blowing up this house.
We didn't blow up this house.
Then you'll be fine and you'll get your weapons back.
There'll be a long pause. And it'll look like Draven's actually calculating. Yeah, maybe he should extract himself from the situation. Possibly
And she might be looking
violently.
like she's like probably making the same calculations. Like, am I going to have to shoot this guy?
And
A lot.
he will then reluctantly hand them over. He says, be careful with them. They're very expensive and very important.
Sure.
And as she walks away, he'll almost like intimidatingly say, and I mean it, be careful with them.
Right. And when she comes to Hurt, how is Hurt reacting? Because it's doing the same. Although she does sort of like pause and like tilt her head, like she's looking at you funny.
Hurt is going to act like this is no big deal. Everything that he's got on him is no big deal. This is all very routine.
You didn't happen to bring any grenades, did you? That'd be
I
hysterical.
was trying to figure. So I had them on the LBE, and I didn't take those off. So technically, they should be there. And I shouldn't be able to take them out after the fact. So This is all routine. I know the drill. We'll just move on. I got a permit for those.
So she is definitely focused on.
That is definitely fast talk.
Yeah, I totally have a permit for these, officer. They're absolutely not grenades. Pay no attention to the grenade.
Those are inert. Please don't pull the pin.
Well, oddly enough for you, she doesn't seem to be paying a whole lot of attention to what what's on your LBE. She does seem kind of focused on you for some specific reason. Like she almost knows you, doesn't quite know you.
Well, I'll try to take advantage of that and make sure she's not looking at anything she shouldn't be.
And we'll secure those in the back of the vehicle with all the stuffs. It's not quite. Yeah, go ahead.
While they're doing all this, if I get a chance, I'd like to talk to Begay, the injured Begay, again.
Yep.
So I'm just going to say to Begay, all right, forget everything I said earlier. I just didn't want them to overreact and start shooting everybody. So, hey, you say what you got to say, man. I don't know what happened. Something attacked us. I have no idea what it was.
It was dark. I think they had knives. Maybe dogs. Also,
I have
my
no,
legs
I have
really
no clue.
hurt. Hey, on the bright side, it looks like their dash radio is functional. And as soon as you get over there to the SUV, you can hear it sounds like, well, they've got a big mess on their hands right now. Whoever is doing the direction, not what's the word I'm looking for? The dispatch. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. It looks like they're dealing with a lot of mess. It sounds like the medevac chopper is now returning back to the hospital. From they are referring to something that they're just referring to as the dig site. And they are saying they have multiple injuries, and then chattering on about the usual or the not usual, but the medical jargon that is probably what, huh?
I look at Begay and say, did somebody start a war in the last half hour?
That's a really good question. So you will all look like you will be loaded up into into the vehicle that's going to be kind of tight quarters because some of you are not small. And I'm thinking of Draven, who's like 6'6", with 22 frickin' hit points. Yeah, he's not a small fellow.
I'm reminded of that scene in Police Academy where Hightower rips out the front seat, sits in the back seat.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Westside had offloaded a bunch of stuff from the SUV. So, well, plus he's gonna kind of need it to set stuff up. It's already like setting up flares and tossing them to the side. So there's some lighting. I'm fairly certain they're going to have some sort of not quite flood lamps, but battery powered stuff like that. And yeah, so you will climb into the vehicle, it sounds like, unless someone is not climbing into the vehicle.
Draven is going to request that they drive past his vehicle so he can pick it up.
Deputy Begay will ask where it's at, and then once you're like, okay, it's in that direction, it's like, well, that's gonna take us out of our way. We can swing back here and pick it up later after you've all been checked out.
I do wonder what standard procedure is for that. They just leave it there, or they tow it back to impound, or what?
Well, that's going to be a little bit more difficult there with the impound towing.
So
We'll have to do
Draven will just
do the same for the motorcycle a little bit later.
he'll just bite his lip and go, okay.
And she will head toward the. I did. I don't remember if I mentioned it. In what context there, Mark, with the failing the health check? As in permanent crippling?
Well, it says for broken bones, suffering a broken bone is 1D months minus 3 of recovery. So if it's,
I'm sure you can get some super awesome medical treatment by using stuffs. It certainly feels broken to you. Doesn't necessarily mean it was actually broken. It really freaking hurts.
it's crippled.
Did it come up as a lasting injury?
Well, that's what I don't know. Okay.
No.
It's just crippled. Okay. Temporary crippled. It's not functional.
Yeah.
Hey, my arm.
Oh, right.
It's
You
not
have
working.
high pain threshold. That means it's like you're like wiggling your arm going, this hurts. And people are like, stop.
This doesn't look right. Does this look right?
Hey, Doc, it hurts when I do this. Well, you should stop doing that. All right. So, Erik, you are actually on the road. You are entering town and heading toward the hospital because the Office of Medical Investigation actually received a request to conduct a complete forensic examination of 3 bodies that the 3 that originally kicked off Graham's initial investigation, and they sent you. And abruptly, the ground starts to sort of tremble and shake. So give me a driving automobile check to avoid losing control and surprise, because nobody's expecting this kind of earthquakey stuff. Did he disappear?
Say that again. I think he disappeared.
Who's making a roll?
Supposed to be Front Javier.
I'm here. So you want a driving roll?
Yes.
I didn't think Erik Lopez was there.
That's why I said, you're on the road. You're entering town, heading toward the hospital. Did none of that come through?
No, I hadn't.
So did I just get the call or what?
It's a cut scene. You cut to a new scene. You're driving into town.
If you recall, last week, the original thing that kicked this off was what looked like a cartel hit. And there were 3 bodies that were discovered. And that happened earlier in the day. And you were basically tasked, hey, yeah, there's a request from Apocalypse to, for an OMI investigator to come in here and, do forensic stuffs. And you got tasked. and you are just now arriving because, well, Eric wasn't an active PC last week.
Got it.
For the benefit of listeners, that was success by 2.
Yeah, success by 2. I was honestly only crit hunting there. It wasn't going to be a big deal unless you rolled like an 18, and then it's like, oh, hey, you crashed. So you will arrive at the hospital to find it in a state of chaos, as they're like prepping for multiple injuries that are coming from the archaeological dig site, which the medevac helicopter has gone to retrieve. The doctor who is in charge of the ER at the moment will, I don't know if she will necessarily recognize you, but once she's got your credentials, she confirmed that you are an actual doctor. Oh, pause before I do that. Tell us who Erik is. I should have done that earlier.
Okay. All right. So Erik Lopez, he was originally born in Apocalypse, New Mexico.
Short version.
And he is
short
currently he went to university initially to be a doctor, but something happened while he was intern. He got bit by a vampire, so now he is a damn fear. So after recovering from that bite, he decided to instead join the Office of Medical Investigations, basically because he wants to track down the vampire that bit him and slay the vampire in the future. So he's been learning a lot about vampire lore. He is the brother of Victor Lopez, and at this point in time, he does not know that Victor Lopez is dead.
Nope.
So as we have learned, he's now back in Apocalypse to do forensics of 3 bodies. Also, he likes non-Mexican women because, well, Mexican women just remind him too much of his sisters and his mother. So he just prefers all the others.
Right. So, as stated, what is so funny? Was Mark being Mark? So, as stated, Dr. Mahoney is in charge of the ER, and once she's got your credentials, identified who you are, and confirmed that you are actually a doctor, even though you don't practice, you're doing the OMI thing. She is immediately going to press you into service, as the other ER doctor isn't answering his damn phone. Remember, Apocalypse is kind of small, so they generally only have like one doctor in the ER at nights, unless others are actually called in.
Well, if she's going to press me into service, I will not refuse, and I will assist wherever I can.
Good. May need it. Got stuff coming in. All right, let's see. So, and then we have the this is the wrong time frame because it's in the middle of the day, the establishing shot of actually Apocalypse. And for those who are interested, I have the map that I have done. Yay me. Do you see the pins on there?
I'm not seeing
No.
pins. If you want us to see pins, there is an option to share them.
Yeah, I thought they were shared.
Well, I see like a
okay,
church, or you see you're talking the little icons.
Yeah, no, there's other things. I know what I needed to do, and I didn't do it, so it's fine.
See,
Everything's
ghost.
fine. We're all fine here. What?
See a little ghost icon.
Oh, right. That's the slaughterhouse.
Right. I was going to ask where that was.
It's haunted. Nobody goes there. I will
Wait. Okay.
fix
No,
the
that's
pins
not.
later.
That's not where we just were.
No.
Okay. Where were we on the map?
Not
off
actually
the
on
map.
the map. You were off the map.
There's elephant butt.
Butte. Okay, so yeah, so Deputy Begay drives pretty fast, and she has definitely rolled her window down, despite it's kind of hot, even though it's after midnight at this point, and got a lot of dust coming in there. Those of you who actually want to could potentially attempt like first aid checks during the trip. What I would be doing there is it's a +1 for the first aid kit, but it's like a -1 for the cramped environment, so it'd just be zeroed out.
Well, I need some help.
There's some help. I have helped.
Well, I think
man.
it's like
What?
there's like 4 of you, so 2 of you can help, or one, do all that stuff. However you want to do that. One person can assist another one. One person can do it to themselves. One person can work on another person. That's up to you guys.
I don't trust these losers.
Dragon's going to be helping himself.
Bunch of selfless assholes. Gotcha.
What's the
like,
hit
hey,
point
man.
recovery?
What's that? What was that, Brian?
The hit point recovery in this tickle is
Looks like it's 1D hit points. Yeah.
Figures.
So during the trip, you'll be able to hear the chaos that's sort of like unfolding on the radio as the other sheriff's deputies who weren't up and about have been either rousted out of bed or called in from whatever it was that they were doing, and are now at the archaeological dig site to help extract the. It sounds like there was some sort of landslide or something. They're not entirely sure what happened, but there's a lot of people that were buried and injured, and it sounds like since the dig site is technically on the reservation land, the Uktena Navajo are being startlingly unhelpful, as usual. Begay herself is asked by the dispatch if she is available to assist, with dealing with the Uktena, but she responds that she's en route to the hospital with multiple injuries, one casualty, and recommends APD have somebody on site that she can actually interface with. Is Will doing anything with regards to first aid?
Yeah, if making first aid rolls while riding in the SUV is something we can do, I can certainly do a first aid roll on Begay.
Yeah,
Begay's already been first aided.
Well, then I can first aid myself, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose it'd be like I said, it's going to be the +1 for the kit, but a -1 because of the cramped environment inside, and the fact you're bouncing around a little bit. And success is 1D hit point recovery. And you're like, hey. Well, you
Still
did
want to go to the
say-
hospital.
Yeah, you did say that you were thinking you might be out next week, so you can just say, yeah, he's like taking a couple days off to recover. It will take about 15 minutes to reach the hospital due to the deputy's high rate of speed. Probably should normally take about 30 minutes to an hour or so, but she seems to drive pretty fast. It will only, I believe, first aid will only take about 10 minutes. So is there anything else that you guys are doing in the process other than are you just like leaning back, taking a nap?
I do have a question. Did McKay know anything about this dig site thing? Did he ever talk about that?
I don't know. Let's let the universe decide. He
The
might have.
universe hates me.
It might. Let's see. It is cold and indifferent. He may have mentioned it, but it wasn't. It was. If he did, it was like in passing, and you weren't really paying attention because it didn't. It didn't really apply to what you were paying attention to or working on.
Then no, I'm going to do my best to remain insignificant to anyone.
So did anyone else see that witch, man? You know, the one on the roof with all the bodies doing a weird ritual thing? Or are we just not going to talk about it? Or the zombie things that tried to eat that young guy? I mean,
We're in earshot of the police officer, right?
I would think we are.
Well, let me rephrase that. We're in earshot of an investigating police officer, right?
oh, we are? Oh, I thought we were in the back of a paddy
It's an
wagon or something.
SUV. It's not a
Yeah.
paddy wagon. It's an SUV. One of you is probably in the front seat next to her.
Perfect time to mention zombies.
Yeah, where is? Yeah, it's just I don't want to say
Okay.
Bronco.
So I will say this. It's like I'll look around and like it's like, did you want to see the other dude?
Draven's going to say, do we really need to talk about this now?
I mean, they might have been hurt.
What other dude are you talking about?
The one in black on top of the roof. I mean, I figured the cops would want to talk to that guy for sure. Or gal.
You kind of shot him. That was the GM saying that, not.
Oh,
not
I know. But I mean, that would kind of help exonerate us if he was trying to blow up the building with some weird witch stuff.
Right. You're a crazy person.
I don't think
That's
anybody
totally
else
what-
actually. I don't think anybody else actually got on the roof.
Yeah, you were the only one that was on the roof, Mark.
Ah,
In that case, Draven will say, didn't see nothing.
We ain't found shit. Yeah, it looks like it's probably just like a Ford Bronco. Which, is not a small vehicle, but you have several people who are really large. So, upon arrival at the hospital, you will find it very, very busy. In fact, it's probably closing in on 1 a.m, and hospital out here really shouldn't be this busy. But then, crazy things have happened, right? There's a couple of the actual local police department officers that are present, that Deputy Begay will immediately chat or speak to, as you guys are being, you're briefly checked over by some nurses who look very, very not tired, crazy busy. And they're like, just basically doing some triage here, and they can see that, well, none of you are going to fall over and die, so I guess that's good.
So the hospital's busy. Is there people coming in, being like ambulanced in?
Right now, no, because the ambulances have been dispatched, but it's sufficiently far that they have not come back, and the people that are here have generally been either medevaced in or came in on their own in some capacity.
Draven will try and get an idea of the types of injuries and stuff like that. His curiosity's peaked, and he'll be looking for slashes and claw marks and bites, as opposed to other usual expected trauma.
Okay, so
Because it all seems fairly coincidental at the moment.
That's true. I hope it isn't just a coincidence, because that'd be terrible.
Indian burial site, never a good thing.
Well, they are on reservation lands, the dig site. Although, they have reservation permission to do that. Yeah, so if you're doing something like that, then give me, would that be observation? Maybe. I think that'd probably be observation.
Mm-hmm.
Succeed by 5.
All right. So based off of your once over, you're not seeing a great deal of or any real slashes. There are some people who have like some exposed cuts and such like that, but they look more like something hit them. Pretty much all of the people that are in that sort of waiting room, they're like really covered with dirt and such like that.
So more like shrapnel injury than
Correct.
direct, attacks or direct injury.
That would be a very logical presumption, yes.
If Will's going to get attended to, I don't know if he is, but if he is, he will ask one of the medical staff what happened.
Yeah, there was some sort of earthquake or something, and they said there was like a landslide or something that over near where the archaeologists were, where they're digging up the Utina stuff.
What time did that happen?
Right around midnight.
And would that be exactly about the same time I can recall when the explosion may have happened, or when we took all that action?
That seems to line up really nicely, yes.
Well, hey, I'm just gonna hang out and wait either to get attended to or sit there and adjust my hat and make sure it's not damaged.
I might have some dirt on it.
And brush it off.
So the one of the APD Apocalypse Police Department people will approach Will. You will have coordinated with this guy at least once or twice, and he's gonna directly approach you to see how you're doing, and also it's like confirm the reports that there was actually a casualty.
Yeah, unfortunately, Block. I think it was Lopez. I'm not sure what killed him, but the house exploded. So maybe that's what killed him. I honestly don't know. Things got weird fast.
Weird. Soon after you arrive, the actual sheriff himself will enter. Hey, because he's got the best mustache of you all. It's even better than MacArthur's epic beard.
Well, MacArthur's epic beard is jealous of his mustache.
Understandable.
It's crying out, "Daddy!"
And he is directly going to once again approach Graham and start asking for a debrief, since he, this was supposed to have been just a routine checkup. What the hell happened?
So we arrived at the scene. I got the sense that we should probably take precautions and get ourselves armed before we went in the house. And it was about that time when we were sort of getting out of our vehicles and getting ourselves armed, and we were moving in on the house, that I don't know what happened. It suddenly got it's almost as like suddenly got darker, and all of a sudden it's almost like attacked by wild animals that were coming out of the darkness. Begay thinks they're wild dogs. I don't know what the hell it was, but the next thing I know, I've got people around me firing on these things, and it all happened so fast. And then all of a sudden, the house just exploded, and I was out. And I think Lopez was killed in all of that. I can't explain it any more really than that. I'm still trying to piece it in my mind.
All right, so let's see here. I'm wondering if that calls for a fast talk, because you are telling the truth. You're just skirting around some issues there. You're not telling the whole truth.
Well, it's not really trying to blind him with bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know if there's a skill that really covers that in that case.
Well, like Brian said, if they're doing detect lies, it's versus IQ or fast talk or something like that. So it's probably versus IQ in this case.
Would it be IQ?
Well, the acting skill, if I may, simply says that, yeah, it's not the quick con. You're trying to either, lie convincingly over a period of time, but it does say the GM may also require an acting role whenever you try to fool someone, play dead in combat, etc.
Okay. Yeah. So I could go with an acting check there, since you're like your story is coalescing as far as you're concerned.
And there's a modifier +1 for every point of IQ you have over the person you're trying to fool. I'm going to find out how dumb I really am.
You got a 13. You're actually pretty smart. So yeah, just roll acting, and we'll see what happens.
I hate you, dice gods. I hate you.
Well, it is a quick contest, and you get points for IQ.
The sheriff listens to your story. He doesn't. You kind of get the feeling he's not entirely sure. What's the word? Words always sort of elude me when I'm actually starting to GM. It isn't that he doesn't totally believe you, but believes you, but he does have that weighing look. Like, do you
Skeptical.
think he may believe that you're keeping some stuff to yourself?
Okay.
What was that, Ronky?
Skeptical.
Skeptical is a word, possibly an appropriate word.
I think you should be doing a Sam Elliott when the sheriff is talking.
I can't do accents. We know that. So just as he's about to actually, comment further, a lot of you will note a doctor like sort of steps out of the surgery area and is like basically telling a group of people, the results of whatever, and the sheriff, who's obviously keeping an eye over there, he looks over there and he just sort of like mutters a curse. He's like, "Damn it! Well, we'll have to figure this out later. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go tell that man that his brother's dead." And then he will nod to Lieutenant Block and mosey on over to where it turns out that it's Erik is. See, he moseyed. And he will wait until Erik is done basically doing the surgery's fine or whatnot. The dude is not gonna lose the arm or whatnot. Actually,
So do I notice him waiting?
Yeah, eventually. And yes, you will be familiar with Sheriff Rogers because your adopted grandfather is like, they're kind of close to this dude. They're friends.
Hey, Sheriff. Oh, let's put out my hand to shake his hand.
Erik,
What?
someplace we can talk.
What's going on, Sheriff? You're not shaking my hand. What's going on?
No, he'll take the hand and he'll shake it, and he was like, "Is there someplace we can talk?"
Yeah. Well, where do we need to go? What's up?
Then you just go over there, wherever the place is, and he will say he's very blunt, and he's like, "I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your brother was killed today or tonight."
So Erik will be listen to that and kind of cringe or flinch at that information. He'd be quiet for a little bit, and then he'd be like, "Are you joking with me, Sheriff?"
I really wish I was. We don't have all the information yet, but I can guarantee you that we got our best people on it.
Can you tell me anything? Like, how did he die? Where is his body right now? Am I the first one to know?
Yes, I haven't been able to. I was planning on visiting your mom before she goes to church tomorrow.
It's where is he?
Yeah, they're gonna have brought him in, which is one of those. It's like I realize I should have mentioned that. Man, I'm just dropping the ball all over the place. Who can I blame? I want to blame somebody other than myself for dropping the ball.
Random player roll.
Okay, that's a good idea. I am blaming Mark.
Oh man.
Yeah,
But
he will say point to wherever it is. I have no. He's probably not going to know where they brought him in, but the body will have been brought in while you were like assisting Dr. Mahoney in a surgery.
And I will get a hold of a nurse or someone at the front desk and say, "Hey, I need to know where my brother's body is."
They will immediately express their condolences to you and direct you to where the body is in fact being held. It's probably in the court. I'm presuming they have a morgue here, even though it's kind of small, because it's going to have 3 other bodies that you were called in to do forensic stuff on.
Then more than
But
likely,
hey, yeah.
well, I'll basically head to the morgue and at least verify it is my brother. And once I probably notice the extent of his injuries, I'd probably go back and make sure I have all my forensics equipment and get it from the car. Because I'm going to start doing my job, figuring out what happened.
Well, there are still a lot of injured that are in need of medical attention at the moment. So now he has that moment. It's like, which is more important to him?
Well, what I'll do is I'll roll a will check, and because I know which route I'm going to have to go, but it'll determine how motivated he is in doing it. So his vow is basically greater than his sense of duty to his teammates. So
You don't have teammates.
his brother could be his kind of his family. You could say he's a teammate, right? So you could kind of get it, direct that to that. So, but he will at least mutter a prayer over his brother, and then he'd be like, "I'll be back," and he'll go back up and finish his duties. And then when there's a significant break, then he'll take the time to do his other job, doing the forensics, and then start asking more questions later.
Yes, indeed.
And more than likely, since Sheriff hasn't reached out to his mom yet, he probably will call his mom before.
Well, she's going to definitely be asleep right now. I mean, right now you're closing in on 1 a.m.
Yeah, but he knows his mom, so he'd call her, wake her up if need be, and give her the bad news. It better come from him.
You're going
than the
to
sheriff.
call her?
Yes, he's going to call her.
Call.
Well, he's got the vow. Oh,
Call.
geez. Call. Why are you saying call? Are you me? I mean, sheriff was going to go say, okay, fine. I'm not going to call. I won't call. You're right. It's rude.
I'll
behavior.
remember to.
Okay.
I'll remember to
won't
call mom when you buy it. I'll remember to call.
No,
So
he's just going to
wait a
send a
minute.
text now.
So Mark, you is saying that. So when I die, what you're going to say is that instead of calling mom, you're going to
Just gonna send a
fly
text like,
all the way to
Padre
Florida.
said.
Hey,
Yeah, you'll send a
no
text or
familial
email.
drama here.
Wow.
I don't know. I like Padre's idea. He's just gonna send a text.
Son's dead.
Bro dead. Okay,
Bro
thanks,
dead.
bye.
Thanks. Bye. Love you.
Include a picture.
I will talk to the sheriff and say, hey, when you're ready to go talk to mom, make sure I'm with you.
I can certainly do that.
All right, now I got to finish up what I'm doing here. They got too much stuff going on. I got to help out. So Eric's demeanor will probably shift a little bit. He's going to be a lot more morose, but he's going to get the job done and help people.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to die. Stab. Okay, so the forward into dawn section. So for Lopez, there's a sufficient number of injuries that we'll have some additional people brought in via ambulance. So you will probably be busy for most of the evening or most of the morning. And thanks to that vow, Dr. Mahoney is going to be very grateful and extremely pissed off at the other ER doctor who never shows up. He will also definitely note that Officer Begay is going to check himself out of the hospital, refuse treatment on religious grounds. It's like, and then he's going to have his sister, the deputy, take him to the res, where she is, also hopefully going to try to get the Uktana to stop being so damn difficult. And they will depart talking quietly and in Navajo. He's definitely limping, but, he's fine. Regarding Graham, the other Leos are going to coordinate with you with regards about the next steps. They are, since we have Westcott out there setting up the perimeter, they are presuming that once you have been bandaged up and maybe taking a breather or three, that you would end up going back out there to do forensic stuff, but they're not going to push you to do that.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna wait to be seen by the doctor.
And they will basically, let's see, I don't remember where you were at. Let's see. Well, did you already adjust your injuries?
I did add my measly 1 point, yes.
Okay. So, that's fine. It's not life threatening. They will give you some a prescription for some painkillers, some mild painkillers, and recommend you take it easy. Ooh, does he have workaholic? No, he doesn't. Okay. I was wondering because it's if he has workaholic, he's like, yeah, I'll take it easy, and then goes and throws himself back into the mess.
Well, if they're going to release me, I very much will head right back out to the scene.
Yep, they will end up releasing you because you are not particularly, you're a little knocked around, but not life threatening or anything like that. The rest of you will be asked politely to accompany the probably Lieutenant Block to the police station where they can take your statements.
Is there any chance I can walk past these guys on my way out of the hospital?
Yeah, they're going to be doing the same thing where they're like checked out and determined. Okay, yeah, you are. You don't have any life-threatening injuries.
Well, as I walk through, I'm simply going to say something to the effect, loud enough, hopefully to be heard. I can't believe we were attacked by those massive dogs. I still can't get that out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Does Eric hear that?
I don't know. Let's let the universe decide. You may be busy at the time.
Reaction roll.
Yes. Nope.
I'm probably in surgery or something.
Well, not necessarily in surgery, but definitely occupied
Busy.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Busy, yeah. The other three of you will be, unless you throw a fit and cause trouble, which is entirely possible because you're PCs, will be taken to the police station.
We will have. Well, let's see. Did they
You have been at
confiscate
least-
everything beforehand, not just weapons? Because if I have my phone still on me, then I'm going to call in before we get removed.
Yeah, I don't see why they would care about a phone at this point. They were just looking for weapons at and it makes perfect sense that because you're not necessarily you're persons of interest, but you're not suspects. That's
Right.
proper phrasing, I believe.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. Not until Ryder decides to throw a fit and kill a couple cops on his way out.
So I will call the company and let them know that I have been detained. And if they have any recommendations or want to send somebody or whatever to let me know.
Okay, that's sort of
That is a request for assistance, technically.
Yes. I was trying to remember how that was phrased.
And just saying that, I have not actually broken out what exactly the my assistance role is, and I probably should, but that is a 15-point duty, and
Duty.
there's the +5 for story appropriate and +5 for game appropriate request, so it could be a +10 to whatever it is, and it's probably not that low. So I'm just going to roll a thing. Actually, I'm just going to roll a thing. Roll that thing. So it was a decent roll.
An 8. Let's see. Now I have to figure out what the hell they're gonna say.
Well, I was in the process of sort of figuring out my alibi, and I was going to go with cartel consultant. So a law enforcement cartel consultant, and we were in the area investigating cartel activity. which incidentally is appropriate.
I'm also looking at the patrons thing because they have the
They have a whole section for that in Action 2, or is it 1?
no. I'm thinking in this as well. They have a comment about
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, because I believe they are low. What's the word?
Assistance girls.
Low assistance or something like that.
Right, yeah. Were they, was it that?
Light influence. That's what it was.
Right.
All right.
Yeah,
Light
okay.
influence.
I don't have any specific modifiers on it. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing.
And I also just realized that I'm kind of an idiot and forgot to totally intended to do the bounce the potential cinematic rules, and I completely forgot to do so.
This would be a bailout.
It's interesting. They reference it, but they don't actually go into a lot of detail on the in the Monster Hunters.
Well, they go into mega detail in pulling rank.
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily.
Unfortunately, that's going to require a bit of reading.
Yeah. Right. So, you will be, asked, politely interrogated, grilled, whatever. Appropriately, the two PCs that are not present are AFK, so that works nicely. I'm going to skip Hurt because he's looking stuff up. Mac, you are going to nominally recognize the interrogator. I just realized I'm still an idiot. Police department. Yeah, so I actually did a full thing for the police and the sheriff's department. Hernandez is going to be basically asking some questions. He knows you by reputation and is wondering, why you were in town again, because as far as he was aware, you were sort of kind of run out of town by your old lady.
I'll kind of look slightly confused and
Because he's slightly confused.
I'm like old in my head. I'm like, old lady. I have an old lady. Well, she wasn't, as upset with me as I had originally thought. I figured maybe I can start going back to work. So my bike broke down, so I had to, before I could get all the way. So
well, you are straight up BS.
Yep, because I have no idea about an old lady or any
So
of this.
that is absolutely a fast talk roll. I was totally hoping for an 18, not a success by 3. Is that wrong of me?
Maybe, but
Probably.
it adds drama. I understand why.
Yeah.
It may not be. It may not be wrong of you, but it's predictable of you.
True.
Were you kind of hoping for an 18 just to see Mark, say, all right, Mark, you screwed it up. How did you screw it up?
I think we all want to see everyone get 18s, just because it's fun.
More drama.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Yeah. So,
I have a question.
Go.
How does the sheriff's department differ from the police department?
The police department is in control of the city proper. They handle law enforcement inside the town, and the sheriff's department handles stuff in the county, which is outside of city limits.
Who has jurisdiction? Or who has the greater jurisdiction?
Well, in this case, if it was out, in this case, the incident occurred outside city limits, sheriff's department.
But at the same time,
But there's an agreement.
Normally. How long has Ryder actually been in town?
A couple of months, I think we worked out.
All right, so he is going to be aware that the police chief and the sheriff do not like each other at all, and they are constantly having jurisdiction conflicts.
My diction crap.
Exactly. In this particular case, I didn't go over it, but because it would have been just more me rambling. But in this particular case, the chief was going to show up and probably did show up at the hospital and started arguing with the sheriff over something. But somebody pointed out, hey, the sheriff's department lost a man. In which case, the police chief sort of took a step back and said, all right, we're going to set this aside. How can we help? And the sheriffs are like, we are stretched to because the sheriffs are out helping the extraction and such like that. So they sort of turned you guys taking your statement over to the local police department. Because the sheriff's department is larger. Well, missing as long as you don't pay attention to the fact that poor guy's gone. He died horribly. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, basically, because in Australia we don't have different departments. So I'm just curious how they interact.
Yeah, normally that's just the way it goes. It's like the police chief the police are city limits, and the sheriff is ostensibly stuff outside the city limits. I think I think the police can call in the sheriff for assistance and vice versa, but I don't know necessarily how that works, and wibbly wobbly and all that. I completely had forgotten and really hadn't taken or even considered that you might not know the difference between police and sheriff.
Yeah, our police department controls their region, and their region sort of. Actually, no, we only have our police department's like a state-based thing.
Yeah.
So there's no jurisdictional boundaries or anything like that. It's across the whole state.
I strongly suspect there is. It's just you're not going to be as aware of it because there's always jurisdiction issues.
Well, if there's state-based, then obviously you're going to have state-based jurisdictions. Specifically when borders are crossed. You have feds though, don't you? Federal police?
Yeah, we have federal police. We've got state police. So in two different towns, it's still like I live in Queensland. That's the state. So two different towns, it's all Queensland police force.
Yeah, it's the same thing as federal versus state in your case. It's just on a smaller scale. It's another step down.
Man, that's just so weird. I can't imagine just Oklahoma police.
Well, there's a lot fewer people in Australia too.
Yeah, and it's in the upside down.
Or the right side up.
Nope, you're upside down. Ryder, you will be. Oh, right. Sorry. And Mac, you will be asked. It's like, hey, what the heck were you doing out there?
Is that directed at
Sorry, that was at
Training?
Mac. That was at Mac. I meant
Big dogs.
it'll come back. It'll end up coming back to Ryder, where they'll be asking you, what the heck are you doing out there? But right now, I'm waiting to see what Mark says, if he says anything.
About?
What the heck were you doing out there?
Well, as I was
And what
saying,
happened?
I was rolling my bike back into town when I saw all these cops and I don't know, this other dude all are congregating around this building when things just went a little odd, and then these strange, I don't know, creatures, dog things, dogs started attacking us, man. And we all kind of made our way inside. And, well, I saw this one sheriff dude get pulled down, and we thought he was dead. He didn't. And then another dude, well, fortunately, they got him. And we were fighting for our lives, man. And I don't know, strange stuff. And then the building just kind of, blew up.
Now, if you said all of that and you had a joint in your mouth, man, that would be believable.
I was contemplating if the guy's going to say, "That's interesting. I'm going to need you to pee into this cup."
And I wouldn't know if I was going to go positive or not.
That's true. You're like, oh crap, what's it going to show? Is it going to glow? Regarding Ryder, the first thing they're going to ask is like, you are aware that, the frickin' sword violates the town knife rules, right? Or knife laws, right? Definitely exceeds the 5-inch blade length. For that matter, your knife blade might exceed that.
It's a large knife, so it probably would. So Traven's going to say, I wasn't aware of that. Is there anywhere I can go get a permit for it?
We'll have to look into that. What were you doing out there? And what happened?
So what was he tracking?
As far as he knows, it was ghouls. Oh God, is he just going to straight up say, yeah, I was chasing monsters. They were ghouls from the Never Never.
I'm just going to check some traits.
I'm sorry, sir, but we need you to actually take this seriously.
He will say, I could tell you what I was out there tracking. I can tell you what I was tracking, but you wouldn't believe it.
Well, why don't you try me?
He'll think for a moment. He'll say, I don't know. It was dark. It was like crazy dogs or something. But he doesn't have acting or anything like that, so yeah, it's going to be fairly obvious that he's not speaking truths.
Okay.
And he's not really attempting to hide it either.
Noted.
So it's kind of like, is that the story you're going to stick to? It'll be like, yeah, that's what happened. Whatever.
Yeah, it was like dogs or something. Yeah. Well, now they have a person they have to keep an eye on. Oh, wait, they got two people to keep an eye on because Mac is already a prime suspect for pretty much anything bad that happens in town. And then when they get to Hurt, the first thing they're going to point out is that a lot of your gear is kind of illegal.
We have a license for that.
What was the
And that.
result of
And that.
what was the result of the assistance?
Let's see.
I have pasted in the relevant details.
You're all alone.
So you were like 7 or less?
Yeah, so I would have missed it by one without any other bonuses.
Right. So you're okay. The revenue. So it probably is like, at least a success by 0, because it's just if you're doing the Homeland Security consultant for anti-cartel stuff.
Yeah, so if help is coming, then Hurt's not going to say a damn thing until he get there, unless he's told to tell them something.
I think in this case they would probably be given you would be provided a phone number for them to contact.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy is quite surprised when the other end answers, Homeland Security, Department, blah blah blah. How may I direct your call? Yeah. So, okay. He is okay. So with that in mind, I should have done paid attention to that beforehand. So with that in mind, you would have probably provided the hey, you need to call this and ask for whatever, and or the person, and after they got off the phone with them, then they would have probably interrogated. Interrogated is technically the correct terms. Questioned is also correct. Well, an interrogation is just a question. And damn it, my brain was going in one direction, and then it sort of froze up. All right, so he's got that. So he is going to be possibly a little frustrated because he was given a lot of, I'm sorry, sir, that's classified information. You're going to have to, submit a form, blah, 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 blah. You have to consult this person and such like that. So this will take a while. They will also have a lot of you actually, do the statement thing. I believe what they end up doing is they write it down, then they give it to you and say, is this correct? And it's like, if it is, you sign off on it.
Right.
So
Statement is I was investigating possible cartel activity in the area. I saw an officer in need of assistance and rendered assistance. It was dark. There were animals. It was hard to tell what was really going on. And then an explosion.
And then the house blew up. All right. So jumping briefly to Will, once you go back out there and rejoin Sergeant Westcott, he's set up the perimeter. He's got some the flood lamps. You'll probably end up arriving with some additional ones. And he's quite pleased to see somebody else showing up. And the first thing he's going to tell you is this is the weirdest crime scene he's ever seen.
I know I'm out of my jurisdiction, but I'm here to assist. What do you mean this is the weirdest crime scene you've ever seen? What's going on?
All right. Well, let me show you how freaking weird this crime scene is. First, and then he's gonna take you over to and so some clearly some footprints that you're like, yeah, there were some. You're probably thinking, yeah, there were some of those monsters coming from this direction, but I don't think any of the PCs were over there. And with his flashlight, he's gonna show some of the really really weird footprints that are like kind of bestial. And he's like, that's exhibit 1 of freaking weird. I don't know of any animal that has footprints like that. And I've been hunting since I was 6. It's like, now exhibit 2. And, take you another wide circle. And you'll see, hey, there's a body that looks like it's pretty good distance away from where the building was. And it's laying there, and he's like, and this is exhibit 2. And it looks like, it looks like a really old corpse, maybe a year old, something like that. He goes, this thing looks like it's been, hit with a shotgun blast at like center, center mass. But if you look at its right hand, and you can look at his right hand, it's definitely missing a right hand. But there's like some really weird what's the word? It looks like dirt, not dirt. It looks like damn it. I know the words that I want to use and they're just not coming out.
Soil?
There is discolored sand of some sort, or soil, or something like really pebbleized stone that is actually in the shape of like almost a hand that is like on the ground, and it starts exactly where this corpse's right stump is, instead of the hand. He's like, that's kind of weird, don't you think?
I would agree. And you got one more thing for me to look at?
I absolutely do. And then he's like, this is a little difficult to actually get to, and I didn't want to go up there and mess it. He's like, technically it's 2, and he's like, pointing his pretty powerful flashlight up there at that perfect circle of wood, and he's like, 1, that is a perfect circle as far as I can tell, but if you go over here, and there's like he's sort of like got set up a rudimentary I don't want to say scaffold because that's not right, where you can climb up and actually look over there. You can't actually get there because he doesn't want to knock it down, but when you do, you will be able to see that there are 9 bodies that are laying in that circle, and they are like head to head, and they are all women or girls. You can't really tell the ages at this distance, and it's sort of like in this kind of arrangement. He's like, that is kind of weird.
And how far away is that from the house?
No, that is on top of that. That is basically, this was on top of the house. This was where you climbed up and he saw the shadowy figure standing in the center of that, and he shot the shadowy figure.
Okay. So this is so peculiar, I agree. You saw no animal tracks of any kind, because we swear we were being attacked by animals.
Well, I haven't seen any animal tracks other than whatever those things were. Maybe they're
I have no idea what
chupacabra.
those things are. Yeah, right. Gulp. I don't know. It was so weird. It got dark fast, and we thought we were being attacked by animals. There was gunfire going off. I don't even know where these other people showed up from. I'm sure glad they were there. And then all of a sudden, I just remember blacking out. I mean, there was obviously an explosion.
Yeah. Well, I would have the department drones, out here to take some better pictures, but they're using them over there at that dig site, and as soon as they're done there and they get them recharged, we'll get them out here to take some more photos of the area before we get those bodies down.
So I'm going to ask him to just step away so I can take a closer look at these bodies, and I'm going to make a forensics check.
Okay. Which means I need to remember and look up forensics to see what it does.
Finds clues.
Paul, on basic page 175, they actually do cover that question about the detective exclamation point skill.
So I guess the question would be is, if you have detective, do you need forensics
Exclamation
too?
point.
Yeah,
Don't forget the
detective exclamation. Yeah.
No,
If
you
you
don't.
have that, do you need forensics too?
No.
The detective skill will, it's a wild card, so it's an exclamation point. It'll list what skills it actually replaces. Like so.
Are we using wildcard skills?
We are.
They are available.
Damn, I may have to just retinker things. Anyway, I don't think forensics. I think perhaps maybe I should have used perception versus forensics, but I'm just looking for something that's going to.
Would that have changed your result?
Well, forensics.
That's a really good roll.
Yeah. Well, forensics is 13, and my perception is probably the same. Yes, it is. I'm just saying, I'm looking for any clues I can find to find out maybe how these women died. And I also would like to look at that body of that creature as well, just to get some sense of what the heck happened to it.
Yeah, that body does not a creature necessarily. It's just a really old corpse, human corpse that's missing an arm, but for some reason, the right hand or not right hand, but the right stump ends where there's some really weird sand in the shape of a hand. It's weird. Let's see. Yeah, so wow, they do not really give you a lot of information to go off of on forensics. I mean, you succeeded by 7. Yeah, that's evidence collection.
That's action 2, 11. Or 11 and 12. They also got the corpses thing, which I guess is what he's actually looking at, but that's diagnosis or surgery.
Actually, crime scenes on Monster Hunters 2 has some stuff.
Right.
Corpses. To determine any cause of death unobvious enough to rate as a clue, the roll against diagnosis or surgery, use veterinary for animals. Well, let's see. General analysis. Success on criminology. Do you have criminology?
I have criminology.
Okay,
At
so
38.
is it so? It's the same roll because I think you would have rolled that instead of forensics. We can just use criminal. We can just use that roll. Your 6 instead if they're the same skill level.
Yeah, same skill level.
All right. General analysis at a crime scene. Success on criminology would deduce enough about what was done. Let's see here. So, looking at the corpses or the 9 bodies, there is no immediate what's the word? Cause of death that you can see. So that is definitely something you will want to get your the forensic expert that you've already called in. You're not sure if he's arrived yet. He may come in. You know how they go. They may not even show up until Monday. Damn that OMI. Yeah, so there's no immediate cause of death for them.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the corpse, he has definitely been hit at fairly close range with a shotgun blast, but based off of the damage and your general expertise, that was not what killed him. It looks like he's just been dead for a while now. You're not sure why they would, stick a corpse out there and shoot it. That's just wrong.
And I had a question. I can't remember it now.
Give me a second. I need to double check. I'm looking something up. I am listening.
I would like to draw on my eidetic memory and see if I recognize any of the faces of these women as possible missing women.
Okay. That's a good thought. Let me. All right. Now I need to double check. Which version of the eidetic do you have? Is it eidetic or photographic?
I believe it's photographic. Let me just check. It's photographic.
All right. So that means I go here. Yeah. Photographic as above. You automatically recall specific details too. Okay, so you automatically remember the general sense of everything in can recall specific details. Okay, so anytime you, the player, forget a detail your character has seen, I have to remind you truthfully. That's too bad. I don't want to remind you truthfully.
Such a horrible advantage.
I want to lie.
Well, you have to get a creature that can edit his memories.
Ooh, good thought, Daniel.
Stop encouraging him, Daniel.
Blue Falcon.
Let's see. So you sit there, you pause for a minute, and you sort of, I don't know how. Okay, here we go. Describe how he remembers things. Does he have the Sherlock mind mansion thing, or is it like a mental Rolodex?
Yeah, I would say it's we're going to play it literal. He literally does actually call up images.
So he's like mentally flipping through a photo album.
Yep. These are his memories captured in actual detailed images.
Okay, so you sit and you pause for a couple seconds, and at least 2 of the faces you're like, that's a missing persons case that was in Las Cruces 6 months ago, never was solved. That one was missing persons out of Albuquerque that was involved in another investigation of yours. That she disappeared, but you did solve the rest of the case. So definitely 2 of them. The others you're not positive on.
And of those 2, what were the one case that I was able to somehow do something with? What was the case about, or what were the details of that case?
One of them was
Damn
a cartel
cartel.
thing, and the other was just a missing persons. They like said, "Hey, help! This is this person has gone missing."
It suddenly dawns on Will that we're dealing with a satanic cartel. I fail a fright check and pass out.
Something since he's looking at those, something that he does sort of realize is he's got the flashlight is all of the girls, women, whatever, you're guessing ages 14 to 40, something like that. They're different, but all of them appear to be either Hispanic or Native American in appearance.
Okay.
By the way, his brain makes an audible camera noise every time he remembers something.
That's it.
And everybody's like, "What the hell?" Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. You're saying there, Daniel. So if everybody goes to hold on, let me paste that and hit Alt and do. If you go to the main page on the wiki and you scroll down to the important town locations, where it's the little Polaroids, that we're actually looking at it from Will's brain.
Ah, that's true.
Okay, so yeah. The Will and Sergeant Westcott will be out there for a while. Eventually, another one of the the sheriffs will show up. It'll probably be Deputy Little, and he's going to be like dirty and stuff like that because he was helping pulling the extraction out. But he's got or not the extraction, the people at the dig site.
So he's a dirty cop.
No, he's a dirty sheriff. But he is arriving to bring the drones that Westcott had requested, so you can get aerial shots and such like that. And probably want to wait until once the sun comes up, which hey, it'll be up here shortly. Actually, what time is it? Do I have sunrise? Oh, I didn't include that. Bad, Phil. Bad.
I realize this is meta, but I'm going to throw it out there. I realize there was a blast radius now as the sun's coming up. Can I make a perception roll to at least look at the horizon and go, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is with the...
you don't even need to make a perception check. You're just like, wow, that's wrong. And that's wrong because I completely forgotten that you had photographic memory.
Okay,
Granted,
well, then I'm going to...
dark, but still, you can go. That hill over there is lower than it should be.
So I'm going to actually walk out that way just to see what else I can discover.
Okay.
So he goes up on the hill and you get the nice panning, scanning shot of the entire region.
Yeah, pretty much. This was a very, very large blast radius. I mean, it didn't do as much damage as based off of the fact that the house blew up, that you would expect, but definitely went out a fairly significant distance. If you get on top of one of the taller hills, you can probably just make out the dig site, and you can see the people there, just sort of still reacting and recovering.
All right. So yeah, I just kind of take a moment and go, how the hell did we survive such a concussive force?
That's a really good question. And it's all Mark's fault that, that happened to begin with.
Don't be
all
shooting
right.
witches.
Yeah, well, sometimes they may deserve it. Okay, so early Sunday, Eric and the sheriff the sheriff will be showing up to pick up Eric and take him to inform his mother.
Okay.
And she is going to react about how you would expect, and it would have been worse if you made a phone call to her. It'd been even worse if you just texted it. Because Mark's just going to text your mom because he's a jerk.
I was also not putting into perspective. I'm in Wisconsin. My parents are in Florida. Obviously, I got to think from the character perspective. They're in the same town.
Yeah, that's true because my sister did call me when my mom passed, and it's just like, oh, okay. Granted, she's in Florida and I'm in Oklahoma, so. But yeah, she reacts about as poorly as you would expect.
I will do my best to console and comfort her. If need be, I'll use psychology to help.
He
There it
did that
is.
on purpose. Nice.
If he hadn't said that, I was gonna be like, "Is there any rolls you want to make for that?"
or I'll
Well,
be.
you did you not hear Paul start giggling after he said
Oh,
that?
I
He was
totally.
totally trolling you. It was awesome.
I was just like, when he said that, I was like, okay, there he goes, awesome.
I
From
heard him
now
start
on.
giggling, yeah, and I'm like, nice troll, nice troll. I was like giving you a golf clap over here, Paul.
Every character you have has to have that skill.
It has to.
Regardless of what the character is.
Kind of. I've always
Well,
played like a medic or something similar.
Yeah, which
some
is
kind of hermit
amusing.
thing.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be in your family because Mark was constantly always playing clerics, and it's just like, what's going on there? All right. Yes. So, yeah. So, the photographs will be taken for Graham. Of Ariel and such like that. Simply based off of the stuff, though. Oh, let's see. Would they? It occurs to me that SOP would probably be not to move the bodies until the forensic guy comes out and looks at them.
Yeah, I would think so.
But the forensic guy is dealing with a grieving mom right now. Oh yeah, that's just a terrible mixed up mess, isn't it?
But the sheriff is also there, so if the sheriff gets a radio call saying, "Hey, we need the forensics guy," then I may have to let my mom know that I need to get to the bottom of this. I need to figure out what happened.
Yes, and she's like, "Yes, you do," and you can hand her off to your younger sister, who's also freaking out because hey, she was really close to her brother, man. Her other brother, not you. You're like 14 years older than her.
Now, if Patience was there, I probably would
No,
be
she's
using,
not.
but if she was, I probably definitely would be using psychology because remember, she has no patience.
She has none. That's her name. She has no chill. Yeah, so with that in mind, they will probably have Eric will link up with Will, and I don't know. You guys, have the two of you worked together before? Question mark.
We may have known each other. I don't know if we've worked together.
That's fine. I was just wondering, if you guys already like that. Early in the morning on Sunday, the other three of you will be eventually released after having, been interviewed, interrogated. You've made statements. They're not so sure they trust Ryder or Mac, simply because, well, Mac is known to have questionable activities in town, and Ryder didn't even try to really hide the fact that he was kind of blowing smoke up their butt. Your equipment will be returned. Ryder will probably end up having to spend a little bit longer, filling out some paperwork. Since he's talking about, hey, yeah, I need a potential license. They're still gonna do the don't walk around town with a sword. That's kind of weird. Although this may cause Ryder to wonder what's wrong with these people, considering pretty much everybody he sees in town walks around openly carrying pistols.
Yeah, he's rather confused as why he needs a permit for his blades when he doesn't for a firearm.
Well, there's
Yeah,
nothing stopping you from doing that.
That's it's one of those. It's like, if you bring it up, it's like, they don't know. That's just the way the laws are.
That's
Laws
it.
are weird.
You need a throwing gun.
Throwing gun.
So
Yeah, it goes off when you hit somebody with it.
A guntana.
Guntana. So phone numbers and contact information will be requested from Hurt and Ryder, in case, for if they have additional questions. But they automatically presume that Mac's point of contact is going to be May, which is like a name he may not immediately recognize.
Nope.
And then he's like, maybe sort of starting to think about it, and it's like he has, I guess it would be like sort of the equivalent of flashbacks. It's like, he has some weird, vague mental images. It's like, nah, that can't be the case. And you will be released to your own recognizance. They will very much caution Hurt to, about that long arm to keep that thing secured. They don't want to deal with that.
Hurt would rather not be drawing the attention to himself, but just to play the part, he will let them know that he's going to be getting a place to stay in town, probably going to be here for a while.
Are we locked up in separate cells?
We weren't locked up necessarily.
No, you wouldn't have been locked up, but you would probably, it's probably, the police station is not the largest facility. If they actually have somebody who's put in jail, they take it to the courthouse because they have a courthouse jail thing. But the police station does have basically like a drunk tank, and it's like an open cell. But they would have left the door open because you're not under arrest. But that would have been like, yeah, I need you to, if you can just sit here while we take this person off into a different room and have questions and statements.
Well, during that time, Draven would have done his best to get to know the other people and try and get an idea of what they know of the supernatural and monster hunting and
Super
such.
what?
It's a television show, wasn't it? It was on the CW.
I just got into town. I mean, yeah. I'm new here, or
You're really not. Yeah, he's
maybe.
like, I'm new here, and then it's like somebody
And then I
comes into somebody comes into the police station, and it's like, MacArthur, you're back in town.
Yeah, I am. And I look back at Draven, going like,
I feel
I
new here.
think I feel new here. Like when you come back from being gone for a while, yeah, and it's obvious that I'm not. But you were saying something. Okay, so you're all right. There's nobody else, no other police. So those weren't really dogs. We were just fighting, right?
No.
And I didn't put a big old a slug through whatever it was up top.
I'm assuming that's the correct
Oh, wow.
roll.
That is ghouls. Hey,
So
actually, you did.
cryptozoology, success by 4.
Yeah, you did actually remember this time.
So Draven says, yeah, I think they were ghouls. Where they come from? No idea. But it probably
Now,
had
with
some.
that kind of roll, with success by 4, he's going to be aware that they are creatures of the Never Never. The Never Never is basically the magical realm of the supernatural, which is separate from the normal world. It's like an alternate dimension, spirit world, whatever.
Australia.
Not
Where
quite.
everything's trying to kill you.
So in that case, he'll
but-
say, have you ever heard the term the Never Never?
Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to roll this in the box just because I don't know what MacArthur himself would probably not know, but it might sting parts of his brain that does know.
Let's see. I'm actually double checking.
I also have
He-
occultism.
Yeah, he. Let's see. I'm wondering if occultism would actually apply there. He is vaguely familiar. MacArthur. He's vaguely familiar of the term, but he doesn't know from where. It's like I've heard that somewhere, but I don't know where I've heard that. That kind of thing.
Hurt says it's Arabian. Blah 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 Arabic.
And her, I look at I look at Draven and look at her. It's like I don't think that's right.
Oh, right, the ghoul. Yeah. So with that success by 4, in retrospect, Ryder, you're realizing that the attack last night actually doesn't make any sense to you because ghouls are very solitary creatures. They do not hunt in packs. In fact, they don't even like each other. Nobody likes ghouls, and they don't like each other.
I've dealt with ghouls before, and something about last night just doesn't add up. You never see them. You never see them like they were. They don't work in packs. They're more likely to kill each other than cooperate like that. There's something about last night that's different. Something else is going on.
Wait, so you're saying these were ghouls, like undead things from
In a way, yeah.
somewhere? Okay, so if those were ghoul things, are there like ghoul witches or something like that? Like, I look around, make sure there are no cops around, except and I'm like, what there was on the roof, and I'll explain. I'll tell them, it's like, look, when I got up on the roof, there was this I'm guessing, another ghoul zombie dude, witch thing, surrounded by these poor ladies that were all, like, I guess they were all dead in some kind of weird ritualistic thing. And when I shot him, well, I think that's when everything blew up around us. Do ghouls have wizards or witches?
And to the GM, ghouls summoned. How do they manifest in the real world?
They can travel back and forth between the real world and the Never Never. They are rarely they're not undead. That's one thing to keep in mind. They are actually living creatures, but they are also flesh eating creatures of the Never Never, and they I'm not. They can have magic users, spellcasters, but they are really, really rare.
So in that case, straight and say, I wouldn't think so, but it's not out of the realms of possibility. I don't know what you saw.
All I know is I put a heavy slug through that thing, and then we all woke up thrown around in the building of matchsticks.
I don't know I can't really explain what happened last night, but with all the other stuff going on at the hospital, with respect to that dig site, I think they're linked. When we get out of here, I'd like to investigate that dig site some. Find out what's going on.
So what we just faced, whatever that craziness was, and that dig site where all those poor or injured people were coming from, are linked, you saying?
I'm not saying
Or you
that
think?
is exactly happening, but I suspect now. It just seems very coincidental that it all happened exactly at the same time.
And Hurt's there, right?
Yeah, he's there. He's
So
not. He's not
what about you,
participating
G.I.
in
Joe?
the conversation much.
G.I. Joe. Nice.
What brought you out here?
What is he gonna tell you guys? He's in the station still, so he's gonna keep up the identity and say that he's Homeland Security cartel consultant chasing down cartel activity.
So these are cartel ghouls now?
I don't know anything about cryptozoology. I just there was a potential for some cartel activity in that area. I happened to be there investigating, and stuff happened, as you saw. Now,
Cryptozoology. You mentioned cryptozoology. So I'm taking it Homeland Security learns about this stuff?
it's above my pay grade.
But
Oh,
you know about it, right?
I think he referenced cryptozoology because you had mentioned it.
And he's not unsmart, so he knows words at least. I was going to say that
I don't know words clearly.
He actually is lying about what he's doing here. So there is the
So that's a
potential
fast
that somebody has that. Well, it's not
Detect
a fast
lies.
talk. I'm just telling a thing. If anybody has detect lies, they would have the opportunity to detect it.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but if there's more of those creatures around, or other, I'm here to kill them.
Oh, by the way, MacArthur's acting dumber than acting as dumb as he looks, but he's So, or trying to.
So you're acting too.
Yes. I'm acting dumber than I really am.
Actually, I don't think I have Detect Lies as a discrete skill. No, I don't.
Hugh will just raise his eyebrow at Hurt's statement and kind of like, uh-huh. And then at Draven's like, wait, you hunt these things? There's a market for them, or
Oh, did he actually
What was
say that?
roll, Daniel?
Oh, that was me detecting Hugh's acting.
That's detect lies, and you don't have detect lies.
Yeah. I hunt down and kill these things.
Actually, I guess that would have been Will, wouldn't it?
so these aren't like as wait. So there's more of these things, like on a regular basis. These things interact with, well, us.
Yeah, they're around. Draven will he will reveal some of the leads that he heard that made him come to Apocalypse in the first place. So he'll rattle off those. He'll say, "Yeah, that's what brought me here."
Huh. And I look at her, and it's like, and you're saying Homeland Security is unaware of this stuff.
I did not say that.
Oh.
Desperately trying to find something in the process while you guys are doing that. I'm like, oh yeah, what about that? There it is. Okay, finally.
So, okay. So why were the cops there? I mean, it seems a bit strange to everyone else here that we all just happened to be at that place at that time, right?
Yeah, almost serendipitously. Or the GM just like, I'm gonna have you guys meet up that way. It's better than you meet in a tavern.
Well, then you can blow up the tavern.
That's just wrong.
Those poor tavern goers.
Yep. So, as stated, a little bit before midday, the three of you are going to be released to your own recognizance, given some instructions to, well, not cause additional trouble, please.
Well,
Did the cops go and pick up the car and take it to the impound?
They have not, no, because, well, they have been super busy, dealing with the aftershock of the apparent earthquake that caused so much weirdness.
So to Draven's new acquaintances, he'll say, "My car's out near the near where that house is. I'm gonna need a lift out there. Any of you boys able to drive me out?"
what about the bike? Did they
Bike
ever
is
say?
still at the house.
Gotcha. Well, I know
The
I
ruined
gotta go back.
house.
I know I gotta get back to the ruined house. My bike is still out there.
My ride is even farther away.
Black helicopter?
I can't tell you that.
Hugh winks. with
You
that
say
over
that.
exaggerate.
You say that. I am absolutely going to have to work in a black helicopter to come in and pick up Hurt at some point, just so you can see that.
Q does that over-exaggerated wink.
Is Draven's cell phone working again?
Let's see. It was if you had the oh right, I never bothered with those. Yeah, I guess it should be, because in retrospect, Daniel's cell or Hertz cell phone should have been, foobarred as well. But I let him
Depends
make a
on whether
phone
or
call.
not those are permanent.
Yes, the hexes are like that are definitely permanent. They fry electronics.
Well, Draven's going to say, I don't expect this place to have Uber, but it's worth a try. And then
There is a 0 chance you're going to have Uber here.
Well, but there are probably cops headed out that direction if you wanted to ask them for a ride.
I'm like,
I don't know. I'd rather not involve the cops.
what about that?
My experience is they tend to get in the way.
What about that sheriff guy, Graham? Maybe he'll give us a ride out.
It's actually state police, but
Or
that's okay. You don't necessarily know that. Just looking at the map, the gym is actually really, really close to the police station.
I know someone that might be able to give us a ride. It's walking
Awesome.
distance from here.
Oh, lead the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather not walk the entire distance.
So for Mac from MacArthur, you are experiencing a monumental case of deja vu. Wherever you guys you're walking through here, you're like, okay, there's going to be a blue car that's going to be parked at this place up. Oh, look at there, there's a blue car. That kind of stuff. It's no, that's looking at the map.
Accidentally wave at somebody that I know, but I don't know them.
There's a pin. What does it mean?
I remembered how that worked.
The House of Pain.
Yes, and as you're like, probably cutting across Sims to, it's like to get there, Mac will see a place that will be this one that I'm gonna eventually get up there and share. Yep, there we go. That he definitely knows. He knows this place. Definitely knows. He knows. Well, I need another nose in there.
His nose knows this place.
It's like I look at it and I'll stop while like everyone's walking and stop and turn and look at it and stare at it, going, and look back and then catch back up with the other guys.
No, I was totally gonna have her step out while you're sitting there staring, and a woman will step out, and she's clearly dressed up and prepared, like she's going to church. It is Sunday, and she will look at you, and she's got an expression, and that's just like nope, 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 and then she just turns around and goes back inside, and you can hear the door lock
From across the street.
from across the street.
Huh.
Did you get anything?
And Mac will take almost like instead of turning around, take a step forward towards the place, then stop. Remember that he's going, hanging with those guys, and move to catch up. And then once he catches up, he does looks over his shoulder back at the place, and back is like, and then do the shake my head kind of thing, like
Hurt's gonna say, Oh, she's totally into you. You should ask her out.
Yeah.
He's
maybe.
dealing with all sorts of sense memories too. Like,
Yeah. Like I know her. Like know her.
biblically.
I think it's more than that. But and he'll actually look very kind of discombobulated, and then all right. Well, anyway,
Clearly, that explosion landed you on your head.
Bounced on his head.
you don't know the
Yes,
half
okay.
of it,
I have to type in
Mr.
your
G.I. Joe.
And you'll arrive at the gym.
And this is Joe's gym.
Yeah, I initially had him pegged as like your cousin, but I have no idea if that's still the case or, whatnot.
It doesn't really matter, but I prefer no family or anything like that. No ties to Apocalypse.
Lame.
He doesn't want any strings for the GM to, pull.
Well, then I will adjust the thing and he won't be your cousin. Your cousin will die tragically in a car accident.
His name is Joe
Somewhere.
Wader.
Somewhere in the world.
It's
Your
just
cousin is
purely
just driven off a
coincidence that he has the same surname.
That may be it. He's not, he just has the same surname and the two of you thought it was funny.
Maybe they are related.
Okay, so those of you, so you're trying to basically get him to run you out there. It's not going to be particularly difficult because Sunday is kind of a slow day and it's pretty early in the morning. Those of you who are out at the thing, I believe we were. Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question.
42.
Is Joe known in the MMA circuit?
I don't think so. He's just a gym guy.
Okay. Just local dude. Carry on.
Ryder might be vaguely known because I think he has. Isn't that like his thing? I don't remember.
Yeah, he does competition fights for his money.
Yeah, but is he professional level?
I guess amateur level.
Yeah, so I probably won't have heard of him.
Okay, so those are the two of the PCs that are out at the crime site. It looks like Erik was summoned. Someone cast summon forensic scientist type. He poofed out there.
So
You will spend a bit of time doing the appropriate initial examinations, photographs, such like that. By this time, they will have the sheriff's department will have actually brought a proper ladder sort of thing, so you can get up there and look at the people that are on the circle, or the people, the corpses. Obviously, you still don't want to get on there and dance around or anything like that. As with Will, there is no immediate cause of death that Erik can identify. He's going to have to actually get them on a table and investigate and such like that.
So I do
Alien
have.
crawls out.
I would be suiting up in my clean suit and also be utilizing the box that I have for forensics So pulling that out of the trunk of the sedan. That way I don't lose my modifiers.
Yep, that's fine. He will be able to absolutely confirm that the shotgun blast to the weird corpse-like critter person did not kill him. This guy has been dead for, as far as you can tell, at least 8 months.
Which would probably mean that the shotgun quote unquote injury should probably appear to be newer than the corpse.
It does. That's why
Like it occurred post mortem.
Yes, that's how he's able to determine that it did not kill him. It's like, oh, well, that's weird.
Oh, right. Okay. That's what you meant.
And it's like I applied the unliving thing when Mark shot him. But it's kind of weird. Let's see. Both of you have really good forensics. So once the sun comes out and you can look, the really weird sand or whatever it is that's in the shape of the hand next to the guy is definitely not native to this particular area. It looks like a completely different kind of sand.
So obviously we would be taking our time. We would be taking samples, taking the proper pictures, making sure we don't contaminate the scene. Just the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
I ask Erik, just eyeballing this old corpse, how old does he think that possibly is?
You want me to do, what do you want me to roll for that?
That is a really good question. I don't think it's diagnosis because that's what
it's either
killed him.
diagnosis or what did they
Physician.
If it's an educated
Oh,
guess,
right.
it's gonna be-
Hold on. Corpses. That's that's diagnosis or surgery. Wow, that's interesting. That's the cause of death.
Right, but that's also what you're going to use probably to find out the time of death.
So I do have diagnosis and I also have surgery.
Just
Well,
roll
pick
one. Psychology works too here.
I psych them out again.
Okay, so you poke around there, you're looking at him, and he is as I believe I stated, he is at least, or this corpse is at least 8 months dead minimum. You'd have to do a proper autopsy to establish better time, not better time of death, but sooner. Words.
Well, it will definitely get this body wrapped up, and I can do more investigation when we get into the morgue. Hey, Will, how did my brother die? Were you here when it happened?
Yeah, I was here, and I'm so confused, to be quite honest with you, because it was dark. We were being attacked. Something attacked him. I honestly thought it was a dog. I was expecting to find dog bodies around here. And, but strangely, this thing on the ground and the gunfire flashes and I know this is going to be
Can we pause
bizarre
a
to
moment?
hear.
Pause a moment? My wife just arrived.
That's nice.
What's she doing at the crime scene?
I know, right? Padre's like, "Oh man, I was really starting to get into it."
I really was. I'm going to take another day or so to have to build up again.
Sorry for that, but my wife just got back from a trip, so
So I guess all I can say is in the heat of the moment, with the muzzle flashes going off, I know this is going to sound bizarre, Eric, but I think it's one of these things.
Crazy.
I think it's one of these things that killed your brother.
so I mean, but I saw shortly, just briefly saw his body. He looked like he was eaten.
And that's why I thought it's got to be dogs, right? It's got to be some kind of wild animal, but there's no trace of them. There's no prints, but there is this bizarre thing. I don't know what to make of it.
During the review of the outside, where was I able to see the prints, footprints and stuff like that?
Unless Will prevents him, Sergeant Westcott's going to point that out. Yeah.
No, Will's not going to prevent anybody at this point.
He's like scratching his head, going, "What the hell is going on? I'm too old for this crap. I should retire." Wait, he's only in his 40s. He's not too old for this crap.
What's up?
Well, it's a lot of crap.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, there's a print.
So I'd probably take a casting of it as part of the forensics. Take castings of the print. Can I determine anything unusual about the print, like what
It's
may
weird.
have been? Do I mean, like, I know I have hidden lore, but an expert skill, I know it's more focused. Can I use that at a minus?
Why do you have... Okay, I'm looking. You have an expert skill and a hidden lore for the same thing. I'm not sure that expert skill is going to do anything. I'm gonna have to poke into that one.
Well,
Hold on.
if the expert skill is a lot higher than the hidden lore skill, then it could just represent the not hidden lore.
His they're based on vampire stuff. So
Yeah. Did you ever say what was unusual about the tracks?
They look like a really weird cross between human and animal, and it's like they don't have enough the proper amount of toes, and they're very like claw-like.
All right, give me a moment, guys.
So I'm going to be able to recall all of this.
Yep.
However, I want to go back to the sergeant or to whoever the other officers are on the ground and just say, I want all of these vehicles that aren't police vehicles impounded. And before they're released, before they're released, I want to talk to every single one of the owners of these vehicles to find out why the hell they were out.
It's only the one vehicle that is actually right here, and that's the bike. Because both Hurt and Ryder
All right, I'm back.
entered on foot. Ryder was parked way away, and Hurt actually never drove in that area. So it's the bike.
Okay, well, we're going to impound that bike, and if any of the gentlemen that were taken in this morning come back to the crime scene, I want you to detain them for questioning by me.
A point I just considered is you probably end up taking that print to Fish and Wildlife to see if they can identify it. Because if there's some kind of weird mega predator running around out here, they're definitely going to want to know about it.
That's right. Plus, he's impounding Mark's bike.
So,
Not my bike.
Just in time for us to get here.
so we
Probably just in time for you guys to reach the part where it's marked off, where it's do not pass. Joe's like, oh man, you're gonna pay me back for this.
MacArthur's gonna forget that he's not a agent anymore and just lift up and go under the other road.
If Erik was to notice that, he would probably bark at him.
You're a doctor, whatever. Doc.
I am also a forensic, so you see me in a white clean suit.
I head to my bike. It's like, that's my bike over there. I'm just gonna get it and go.
Please detain him.
You got some reason why my bike is being impounded here?
It's part of the crime scene.
How many officers do they have at the crime scene?
There's a total of 3 law enforcement officers plus a forensics guy from the OMI.
Well, I know that guy right there. Will, Graham. Officer Graham.
My name.
Hey, officer, you.
Well, thanks for the ride, guys. I'm going to head out.
Can I get my bike and just roll out? You watch me come in with it.
Get over here, I yell. Get over here.
And I kind of give a smug look to Erik as I walk past. See, I told you I knew him.
And I say, all right, I need to ask, what were you doing here last night when I arrived on this scene? What brought you here? And I don't want any lies.
He takes a moment and looks down. It's like, well, okay, what brought me here?
So one person can be gunner.
And I look over there. It's like that bike, and you'll catch that I don't say my bike. He said that bike was broken, and I was, so I had no other way to get into town. So I was walking down, taking it down the road, and I ended up here. How I got there, that's a whole other story. Why I was here, I don't know. It's, I guess the best way to say, and this is going to sound weird, but I'm sure you're totally understanding of weird now. I felt like I was pulled here. Like I had to be here, or something was drawing me here. Like, I mean, I was just in town, and I swear I've been there before. And everyone's
you swear you've been in the town before, or you've been here before in this location?
No. Town. I don't know this place from nothing.
So let me get this straight. You just happened to be out in this vicinity here?
I must have taken a wrong road or something, but yeah, I mean.
All right.
And what the hell happened once we got here?
I mean, I'm probably easier to explain than G.I. Joe over there.
Yeah,
where
who else has come out here?
Go?
Who else has come out here?
Well, I point to the driving off vehicle, probably. It's like, got a ride with Ninja Dude's friend, and G.I. Joe came with me.
No, they probably would not have been allowed to leave right away because remember we told the deputies to.
This is true.
Yeah, everyone's supposed to be detained.
Well, they didn't cross the lines.
It doesn't matter. The
deputy. I was just letting you guys bounce off of each other, but the deputies would have sort of approached it there and said, "Hey, I need you to stay here for a moment. Lieutenant Graham wants to speak with you."
So
point towards which Hurt and Ryder will at least, hey, that's the guy we fought back to back with.
But now, does Hugh see the body or anything else?
Oh, okay.
By this point, I suspect that by this time in the day, the Lopez and company are like gathering up. You've taken all of the photos and stuff, and so they're like starting to put the bodies into the bags to like take them back.
I'll point to the bodies. Like, were those the bodies on the roof? And I'll like lower my voice to Graham, and it's like, were those the bodies on the roof?
All right. I am gonna detain you for a little bit longer because I need to find out what the hell is going on here. You're not going anywhere, mister. And then I look over at Draven and I point to him and I say, "Get over here."
Get over here.
Draven.
While there's a little bit of confusion going on, Hurt is going to discreetly get some phone pics of basically all the PCs.
Draven will be heading to his vehicle after.
You're really hard to
Yes.
understand.
Are you hearing me?
Very muffled for me.
How's that?
That's better.
So yeah, Draven, after dropping off the others to pick up the bike, he'll be heading for his car. When Will calls out, he says, "Unless you're arresting me, I'm going. We've been cleared to leave. There's no need for you to detain me any longer."
All right.
You gonna
shout
arrest
for
him?
the- I shout for the deputy to arrest him.
On what
Oh.
charge?
Take that.
Being a butthole.
Okay.
Contempt of cop.
Harshing my call.
Draven's going to keep walking to his car and see if the cop interferes.
Yeah, they will definitely move to intercept you and say, please put the weapons down.
Well, he won't have any
Hands up.
weapons on him. He would have packed them away in his car.
Okay. No, in his car. What? He doesn't have his car yet.
I thought we went to pick up the car.
Yeah, I was under the impression you had Joe take you to get to this place. Unless you had Joe take you to your car, and then
Yeah, I would have said,
Okay,
Joe,
okay.
take us to my car, and then I'll drive my car to the bike.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay,
That's how I had it in my
gotcha.
brain canon.
That's fine.
Nope,
So
that
it's
works.
just totally misunderstanding on my part. My mistake.
Yeah, for
your
some
fault.
reason I thought Draven's car was at the crime scene too. But then I remember Draven was hunting.
Yep.
Yeah,
So Sergeant Westcott, Deputy Little will approach Draven and ask him to put his hands up, etc., etc.
You're going to arrest me on what charge exactly?
Person of interest in an ongoing investigation, says Sergeant Westcott.
We already been cleared. We spent 3 days down at the station.
3 days. It hasn't even been a couple hours.
Oh, 3 days. My bad.
What?
3
He has
hours.
issues with sensing
Oh no,
time.
it's been longer than 3 hours.
Okay. Rewind that. We already been cleared.
Or don't.
And while he's having a talk with the deputy, I'm going to look over at Hurt and yell at him, "And you too. I want you over here. I need to talk to you."
Yeah, whatever. I'll be a little more cooperative than Jamoke over here.
Evidently. Because the sheriffs are like, look, man, we're tired. You're tired. We just want to take care of this stuff. He wants to talk to you. Let him talk to you, and he'll let you go.
I'm
Don't
still
force us
playing.
to arrest you.
I'm still playing the role. So
Give me a not self-control, an influence roll.
Right. Okay. So I'll presume 12 at least. Wow, he is really tired. Well, that is not going to work. So I guess I need to make the other check. Well, he failed his diplomacy check, but he got a pretty decent reaction, I guess it would be in that case. I don't know what a 16 is because I wasn't rolling off of a character.
that's I think that's short of very good. I think it's good.
Isn't good 2 to 14? Very good is 16 plus.
Is it? You may be right.
So 16 reaction is, damn it, I hit the wrong. It should be 359, not 259. 359 is.
You're like,
That's the
this
wrong
guy's
place.
cool though.
Do they look like they're going for cuffs or anything like that?
They just look like they're really, really tired and want to go home and go to bed. Oh, a 16 is very good. 16 to 18 is very good.
All right, well, Draven will stare them down for a little bit, and
So I'd be like, "Come on, man! Don't make this difficult.
I don't want to get beat up today.
I'm tired. You're tired. Both of us want to go someplace and have beer. We don't want to deal with this crap. Let's humor the lieutenant and then get this crap taken care of."
then Draven will sort of look past the officers that came to arrest him, and he'll look back to Will and say, "All right, you have a few minutes, then I'm walking. Understood?"
I nod my head.
Then he'll push past the officers.
And then they tase him. No, I'm just joking.
Huzzah!
Don't
It's
tease
gonna
me,
take a
bro.
lot of it.
That would have been funny though if I'd done that.
So, are they all assembled around me now?
They seem to
I
be.
suppose we are.
All right. So I look at Draven and I said, "Thank you for cooperating. You don't need to be such a hothead with me. I'm very confused about what happened, and I would appreciate some direct and honest answers."
You were here. You
if
saw it all.
So if you cooperate with me and you answer my questions, then you can go on your bloody way. What were you doing here last night? What brought you to this house? Because I was coming here on police business. What business were you here conducting?
What police business were you here for?
That's my own goddamn business. I'm a police officer. I'm asking you a question.
I was
Brian
tracking.
is totally going to talk himself into jail, isn't he?
Probably.
It's funny because Hugh just wants to pipe up. He was hunting ghouls.
He said he was hunting.
I was tracking some dogs.
Yeah. like this thing over here, and I point to the old corpse.
That's not a
Hey.
dog. That's a corpse.
Yeah.
That was the
Right.
witch that was doing some weird magic stuff.
So what were you really tracking out here? Why would dogs be coming to this residence? Or were you tracking the things that attacked us? By the way, you did really well last night, and I thank you for everything you tried to do to save Lopez. I just want the truth.
Come on, Draven, tell him about the ghouls.
You can't handle the truth.
Is there anyone else?
I don't say that, but I think
Are
you're
there
really
other
loud.
officers around listening into this conversation?
Yeah, they're listening.
Oh,
no.
they're
No.
listening?
I've pulled them away. I've
Okay.
asked everyone to just meet with me so I can have a talk with them.
So they're trying to listen then.
No, I
Well-
tell them to bugger off, back off. I just want to have a conversation with these guys directly.
What about Erik Lopez?
Yeah, Eric's there too.
So
We'd
he's
have
with
to
the group.
Call him by
Okay.
his full name.
Then Draven will sigh and he'll say, well, like Hugh said, the things that attacked us last night, the ghouls.
So I'm going to just take a really long pause and look at him to sort of look into his eyes. I'm going to do a detect lies roll on him. Or no, you know what? I'm going to use my empathy to determine if he's being truthful.
Oh, they changed it. Okay. Yeah, he's not lying.
You can actually use them both together. So you
Yeah.
do the empathy, and you get a +3 on detect lies.
So I get this distinct impression that he is being truthful.
Yep.
Is that
Yep.
true? Okay. So I say to him, "You're not shitting me. What we saw and what attacked us last night were ghouls."
They were ghouls. The
And that
the
over
way
there
they
is
were
called a
acting
ghoul
last
witch.
night is not how ghouls normally act.
And then I look at Hurt and I say, "Now, what were you doing here?"
Tracking.
What the hell were you
activity.
tracking? Cartel activity.
Eric will probably pop up on that one. It's like, are you talking about the bodies there in the morgue?
Sure.
So, what agency do you work for?
Well, we've already identified me as Homeland Security, so that's my cover identity here. I'm Homeland Security.
When he says
Homeland
that, even
Security.
when he says that, MacArthur kind of does a half chuckle, like, right.
So I would like to know, can I use my empathy to determine if he's being truthful when he says Homeland Security?
Okay. So in that case, yeah, let's see. The empathy is a +3 to detect lies, right?
If
what it
he
looks
makes
like.
if he makes the empathy check, he gets the +3 on the detect lies.
Right. Empathy. Okay, right. I see. So, I'm reading the empathy now. You have a feeling for people when you first meet someone or are united. You may make the GM to roll against your IQ. In this case, it would be just roll an IQ into the box.
Well, probably don't need to roll it in the box in this case.
Unless he wants to.
Yeah, I'll take that. If I can take that +3, I'll take it on my detect lies roll.
That was a shitty roll.
Yeah, he's gonna like blow you out of the water with like with this. Oh my god. Yeah.
Whoa. Hugh would just stand there with one single eyebrow raised as he's getting ready, as he's answering this Homeland Security question.
So it sounds to me like the three of you are gonna talk yourselves back into prison. This is gonna be great.
Hey, I haven't said a single lie.
So I look at Hurt and I go, "You're such a fucking bullshitter."
I'll show him my card.
Yeah, I've seen many of those printed, my friend. But that's okay.
You're welcome to call if you like.
That's okay, because I have my own contacts in agencies as well. I can find out who you are. So, are you here really tracking cartel, or would you like to just take a step aside with me and tell me what the fuck is going on?
Don't take it personally, but I don't trust you. I don't know you.
I don't trust you either. But, buddy, I'm the law here. If you're going to lie to me, you're going to go down.
I can just leave.
You can leave and we'll pick you up and we'll find a nice cell for you, either in town or I'll take you back to my place. It's up to you. So either I'm going to get the fucking truth or we'll do this the hard way. And if you don't want these guys to hear about it, well, let's step over here into my office.
I'm trying to think how he would he deal with this, because okay, we've already gone over this with the local constabulary, but this is a state cop, so he's a different situation.
And he's just gone through the craziness that you just saw too.
All right, so what Hurt is going to do, he's going to hold up a finger, he's going to break out a cell phone, and he's going to make a call. And he's going to be calling his handler and ask him what he wants to do with this situation.
That's lame. That's punning. I don't know what the handler wants him to do with this situation.
He's calling Joe headquarters.
In my narrator voice, Sergeant Westcott and Deputy Little are in the background talking. Sergeant Westcott said, "You got any idea what's going on?" Little replies, "No idea, Sarge."
Yeah, I can't think of procedurally what else you would do in this situation if you were with Homeland Security and the local police are insisting on the classified details. Then all you could do is call. So it's not necessarily a punt.
What I'm thinking is the person on the phone might actually be like, "Let me talk to the person," and then they
and that may be the case, but
what is used to identify undead things or identify something as undead?
Well, that would be probably hidden lore at least.
Lore,
I don't remember.
angels, demons, relics,
possibly theology in some cases.
occultism,
and occultism. Yeah.
So
undead zombies and skeletons is hidden lore, restless undead, and or theology voodoo.
Oh, voodoo. Okay. Don't got that.
Mummies is archaeology and hidden lore mummies. Yeah, it's going to be hidden lore, restless undead, I guess. Might also be thaumatology, but you're not going to have that. What with I'm going to raise zombies. Yeah, go ahead.
How about a little compromise here, officer or agent or whatever it is?
It's I'll do a Canadian version. It's Lieutenant Graham, but I'll do an American version. It's Lieutenant Graham.
Since this whole ghoul thing is kind of wide open among us here, I will tell you that I attract at least one, possibly multiple of those creatures here from the scene of another crime, which I will not currently disclose.
Excellent. So now we're talking about a crime scene. And is that crime scene here in New Mexico?
It's in I will not disclose.
Well, I'm going to keep you close to me, buddy, because you are so close with me charging you. You are so close. But because you helped save my life last night, I'm going to cut you some slack. I'm keeping a real close rope on you. So I look at Draven and I say, "Are you cooled down?"
I'm always cool.
We're not going to have any more angry flashes at me.
Well, that depends if you're going to hold me here too much longer.
Well, what are you going to do next? Because, gentlemen, I don't know if you know this, but we could all be accessories to crimes here, including myself. And my dog story isn't going to go very far because there aren't any dogs around here.
I intend to
So,
find out what's going on.
With that statement,
And if there's any more of these dogs, or whatever, I intend to kill it.
And believe me, I don't like the situation any more than you do, but it seems to me you guys know a hell of a lot more about what's going on. And I am just staring into the edge of a void here.
To be fair, Officer Graham, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah,
And this
we're all
man-
kind of scratching our heads right here.
This man lost his brother. I would really like to know.
Oh
what the
man,
hell
I'm
is going on.
sorry to hear that, Doc. That dude went down. Well, trying.
So I don't know what to make of Talk of Ghouls. That I think is going to require a lot of beer.
so
Just
I have a
shrugs.
question. Since Erik actually knows about vampires, how would he? And he's got a sense of the supernatural. Hearing ghouls, is that going to take him outside of plausibility, or it's like, yeah, I've probably heard about ghouls.
He's focused entirely on vampire stuff at the moment. He may have seen a reference to ghouls, but he's not going to know anything really about them.
But it's not going to be out of his like, oh well. I mean, obviously, I'm a half vampire, so ghouls aren't that far from.
Yeah, that's not far fetched.
I wonder if some of the hidden lores might actually default to each other to some degree, like that one.
Well, ghouls are not undead.
Yeah, they're not undead,
Right.
but they're involved with the dead, I guess. That's kind of a stretch.
They eat. No, well, not really. They eat meat, lots of meat. If they have any real connection, it would be to like fairy lore, because that's fairies are from the Never Never as well.
Well, it could also be demonology or something like that. It depends, because the Never Never stuff is the actual in-game explanation for ghouls, but in reality, there are a lot of different explanations for them. It's like I said, it's originally Arabic word, and it was just some kind of demon that I don't know what other variations there are.
If
on
only we
that.
had a cultist person who knew all of this.
Occultism.
I know, right?
I have occultism.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
we're
it's
talking
like
about
an expert
player
who's like
that
a
was-
hidden lore and has like 17s and 18s and 19s and hidden lore stuff. If only we had a character like that.
Oh, only we should see about getting a player that'll play that character for us.
Can Draven roll on occultism to speculate what was going on last night with regards to the wizard and the ritual?
Let me look
Just
up
like
occultism
just
and
like
read it.
ballpark what might have been going on.
Because in actuality, it would
'Cause-
probably be thaumatology, thaumatology, but occultism might.
Well, looking at
Suggest
occultism,
something.
and it says this is the study of the mysterious and the supernatural. An occultist is an expert on ancient rituals, hauntings, mysticisms.
okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. So let's see. In worlds where everyone knows, that's not here. Yeah, I guess if you have occultism, you can probably make a check to try to figure something out.
Yeah,
That's gonna
Holy
be
Jesus.
the best of time.
I'm not even going to roll.
Well, you can still try there, Mark.
So I recite the exact ritual that he was performing.
I don't think it's going to go that far, but it is going to be one of those that. So you got a critical success. So as you are sitting there, sort of looking at the sort of arrangement of the bodies that were up there, and then like the I guess it would be the circle that was sort of drawn on there. It occurs to you that you have heard something, within the hunter the hunter community. You have heard of something similar to this. There was a I believe was a red circle. Hold on. Let me double check and make sure I am not going to give you inaccurate information, because that would be wrong, wouldn't it?
Just for the listeners' benefit, that was an
He rolled
occultism roll of
By
critical
7, rolled a
success.
4. Damn it! Where's the freaking thing I'm looking for? There it is. Right. So, yeah, in the hunter circles, there was actually talk of a number of different similar murders, where it's like, a number of people were a number of women were like murdered in this way. It'll actually go back to the 80s, although that didn't really happen for very long. And then more recently, there was what was called the Red Circle murders that happened in Oklahoma City back in 2014, where like I think it was 3 of these kind of would-be rituals were discovered.
Is there any clue as to what the rituals were trying to achieve? Were they summoning something? Were they, doing what?
That you are not entirely sure about. You do know that. Let's see. I have to
You
look
did
at your.
crit.
Yeah, I know. But even though the PCs that were involved never found out what the point was.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Was it a summoning?
You have no
Or
idea.
the
You never
nature of
figured
the
out.
ritual?
Based off of your 4 hidden lores, none of those necessarily apply. But I think Ryder is going to be at least peripherally aware of the White Council of Wizards did get involved in some capacity. And
What?
they are like a secret. They're he doesn't know hardly anything about them. He just knows that they're the ones that are the wizards. They're secretive order and such like that.
So what he's looking for is he wants to tell Will. Says, "All right, Will, is it?"
Yeah, he can probably just reference the Red Circle murders, and will be able to research that, and because that was in the papers and such like that back in the day.
It's Lieutenant Graham at this point.
All right. So Will,
Lieutenant, sorry.
That's right, Will. What happened here was a ritual. The nature of this ritual is unclear. I'll tell you what I know, but I want an assurance from you that if I help you, you will let me do my job. And I'm
You have
here
my
to kill
assurance.
these things.
And you have my assurance that so long as you're on the level with me, and you want to kill these things, I need to find out what these things are. But what the hell are we going to tell the sheriff? What the hell do you guys tell law enforcement about this? Because frankly, I don't even believe what you're telling me, except I saw it and I can't unsee it.
Don't worry.
Eric will actually
No one
look
will
at
believe you
Will
anyway.
Graham and
So you
say,
tell them whatever you need to tell them to arrest their concerns.
I got one more thing to show everybody. Come with me. And I'm going to walk him up to the edge of the blast radius and point over to the archaeological dig site.
Oh, and Draven will also fill him in on the related incidents, the Red Circle murders and whatever.
So we're talking cult of some kind.
It could be.
And given the landslide that apparently hit that over there, I mean, we are so close to the reserve.
I'd like to get a look at it.
Wait,
Poke my nose around and see what I
how
can
far
find.
away was the dig
It's
site?
within visual, but it's some distance away.
I think
It's not immediately obvious.
if you need to get there, I probably could talk to the law enforcement on the reserve.
If you could get us access, that would be good.
And
There you go. Daniel
I
will
look-
remember this.
Mm-hmm.
and I look at Hurt and I say, so is it cultists that you're tracking too?
I'm a little early in the investigation. I haven't identified a whole lot just yet. I need to make some calls.
But you're willing to share with me and our friend here?
I'm willing to share.
Because I hate to say it, but I think you're going to get implicated on why you're at a house the police were investigating.
So, Will, why were you investigating this house? What brought you here?
Well, because I was told that there was perhaps a kill that had taken place here. Am I getting that right?
Almost. There was 3 bodies that were discovered in town, and this was the home of one of the one that was identified, Walter Corbett.
Yeah. So we were here to check on this residence because it belonged to someone who'd been killed in town. And then I look over at
How was he killed?
how was he killed?
He was thoroughly, brutally beaten to death. And,
All right. Yeah, beaten to death, and his heart was cut
Yes.
out. I'm taking notes.
Somebody's
We
taking
have-
notes.
We have one of those?
So he was beaten to death, and his heart was cut out.
Can we get access to the house?
The
The house is
house?
blown up.
You mean the house in town?
House here. There's still going to be, perhaps books and stuff.
Yeah, well-
lying around.
Like I said, I think I'm going to have to come up, or I don't know. I'll talk to Eric. Eric, I don't know what you think, but we have got to come up with something because the sheriff in town is not going to be happy. Anyway, I would suggest we don't go very far.
Wait. Hold on a second. So we need it. So what we're looking at here is a reason why the house blew up.
I think.
And what the hell attacked and killed Lopez? Sorry, Eric.
I will be
Well,
investigating my brother's body, and
well,
I am not surprised. Hearing ghouls does not actually surprise me. I don't think the world is ready to hear ghoul. So after my findings, I'll probably pin it to something that is more reasonable.
well, what if, we were throwing down some fire, and G.I. Joe over there was just rocking and rolling. How hard is it for a gas line in the nearby in the building to have been clipped and cause the explosion?
There's
You
no
know,
gas here.
Yeah, they were.
propane tank.
It has a very
Big,
distinctive smell.
Big propane tank.
I'd say you interrupted the ritual.
Well, obviously that, but again, I don't think anyone's going to accept that. So we need to come up with a plausible reason why.
Yeah, no, I know. I can.
Dr. Lopez's brother died, which it sounds like Dr. Lopez over there is going to write, the ME report, which will actually throw some of the intent here is Mark Arthur is going to sound a whole lot more knowledgeable in police matters than normal.
I just got someone. I just killed someone.
Because, well, he was an agent, and and then just a dumb biker dude. And if we have the good doctor over there, sign off on it was an animal attack, we all agree that we were being attacked by wild rabid animals. A few stray shots going off in and around the area could easily have hit something that was did not react well to a stray bullet, causing the bullet to explode. Remaining animals ran and fled, and leaving whatever animal that did it to either be, vaporized, or the remains are uncoverable. As for this guy over there, I couldn't tell you how to explain why we have a mummified corpse with a shotgun blast to him. And then the ladies.
All I can say for that corpse over there is he was dead. When you
Clearly
shot him.
he was. Well, clearly.
No, as in he
hey,
was dead. He was a corpse before you shot him.
And MacArthur will look at
is,
you and go, clearly, that is.
Okay.
That is
Yes.
I don't know what kind of bizarre shit the guy who owned this house was into, so maybe he had that thing hanging on the wall and you shot it. Anyway, I'll leave it to the good doctor to figure out.
Under the bus.
I'll leave it to the good doctor. I'll leave it to the good doctor to figure out how to explain this. But at this point, I just have one more sidebar conversation I want to have with Homeland Security here. But Hugh and Draven, head back into town, and let's just take this one step at a time.
I want to get access to the dig site. Work on that.
Well, if that's this is where we're ending it.
Yep.
I have bodies that need to get to the morgue, and I need to start looking into it. Lieutenant Will, as of right now, I think remain quiet. Let me do my review, and maybe together we can come up with a plausible explanation as to what happened. I will share my findings with you, the truth, and then we will provide what we should tell people.
Good.
Everybody's
Homeland,
getting involved in this conspiracy.
Homeland, do you have a moment?
I tell you what. I need to get a place in town. So,
Yeah.
why don't you and I meet up?
I have a quick request of you. I just want it out of your shot.
All right.
He wants you to shoot Ryder in the head with your rifle, just to see what would happen.
Kill them all.
I'm gonna need a bigger gun.
One more thing. It would be good if we're going to try to say it was rabid dogs or rabid wolves or coyotes to find an animal killed that we could blame it on.
Boy, you're awfully good at this hiding the crime thing.
Yeah. So I just want to get Hurt over to the side.
Don't get hurt alone.
But
Well, he did
understand
offer him back the drinks.
Understand
So
this,
I-
guys. I want to find what killed my brother. Period.
Roger that, Eric. Homeland. I think Eric needs your assistance here because somehow, in some way, tracks and bodies have got to suddenly be under that building in short time.
I think I see where you're going with this.
And I don't even say that lightly because my job's on the line.
I'll see what I can do.
All right, and I think that's where we'll end it for the night with the state police officer trying to coordinate a conspiracy with the false Homeland Security agent. And hopefully we're ending it with more questions and answers. All active PCs.
So glad I don't have truthfulness and honesty.
Oh yeah.
That's all active players will get the 2 character points, and we will pick up next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We should be back with one PC who's finally going to show up, and Graham may not be here.
I may not be here after all
Yeah, in
that.
which it'll work. In which case, you can just you had to go and report. So for those of you on the stream, if you're watching this, have questions, corrections, general complaints, suggestions, or some good nature heckling, feel free to leave a comment on the video or find us on either Discord or Facebook, which is totally cancer and you should get away from it. And thank you for watching. Olympus Gaming bids you good night.
Adieu. Farewell.
See ya.